West High School at the matchup of Southwest Assembly Power. The title is at stake as Centennial takes on Stockdale.
It's going to be a good game. This is a game where Centennial has a lot at stake, not just the conference championship, but a playoff seeding that's going to be very important. They can move into second-place seeding in our area behind Bakersfield High School with a win tonight, move ahead of Foothill and Highland. So more things at stake than just the conference championship. On Stockdale's end, a share of the conference championship. A lot of people thought these guys were out of it, had no chance for it, but what a season they've had in league. This is going to be a great matchup.
Stockdale is 3-6 coming in. Centennial 7-2. That's tonight's Prep Football Game of the Week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
G-E-T! The Get Bus is the ride for me. From there to here and here to there. G-E-T goes everywhere.
What can you do for cleaner air?
Ride to work with time to spare.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Here's what we say.
Get on the Get Bus. Get Bus. Get on. Get on the Get. Get on the Get Bus. Get Bus. Get on. Get on the Get. Get on the Get Bus. Get Bus. Get on.
Coffee in the morning, get you on your way. For something cold any time of the day. Sounds real good. What do you say? It's easy, it's fast. We're on your way. Take a fast trip to the fast trip. Something to go and something to sip at the fast trip.
Take a fast trip today and pick up an ice-cold Super Guzzler or regular Guzzler. Only at Fast Trip.
Excuse me, is that tuxedo from AJ's?
Let AJ's get you noticed. A Bakersfield tradition for over 25 years, specializing in Pierre Cardin, Christian Dior, Oscar de la Renta, and Calvin Klein. AJ's Tuxedo Junction, with 3 great locations to serve you.
Teaching your teenager to drive doesn't have to be like swimming with sharks. Let the professionals at Precision Driving School help. Our instructors have the expertise to teach all aspects of defensive driving that help our students gain the confidence and skills needed to pass their driving test the first time. Precision Driving School, we make driving with your teenager as relaxing as a day on the beach. Classes are forming now, so call or visit us today on the corner of 19th and Oak.
If Windows 95, Pentium 133, the Internet and gigabytes have you all confused, then you should buy your computer at Arc Technology, your local computer connection with personal service for just the right equipment at the lowest prices and service after the sale. Check this fall special.
I'm Alex Rogers, owner of Arc Technology. Come and see for yourself why we have the warehouse stores beat, hands down, on price and service.
Don't you buy a computer until you check with Arc Technology, 3 blocks north of Costco at the Clock Tower.
If you've had an accident and are suffering from any of these symptoms, listen to your body and call us today. I'm Dr. Rudy Herrera of Mind and Body Chiropractic. Call us at 837-1505 in Bakersfield or in Delano at 721-1506.
Good evening from West High School in Bakersfield, California. We have a matchup for the Southwest Assembly Football Championship as the Centennial Golden Hawks take on the Stockdale Mustangs.
This is going to be a lot of fun, as you can tell already.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd's into it. We got a big crowd here at West High tonight. Going to be a lot of fun. Got a nip in the air. It's cold. It's going to get colder tonight. I love it. Been waiting for this time of the year. And both these teams playing extremely well right now, Mark. This is going to be an excellent game tonight.
You know, Bobby, whether it's volleyball, baseball, track and field, or whatever, when Stockdale and Centennial meet, it is a big rivalry. Both schools are very young. You look at both teams, both schools have outstanding bands, great fan support, and outstanding football teams.
Yeah, they do, and again, we alluded to it in the pregame at Stockdale. Nobody really gave them a shot. David Carr got hurt early in the season. Everybody said they're done. They lost 4 games out of 5. Exactly what they did the prior year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they come storming back in the league, and here they are against Centennial tonight with a chance to get a piece of the co-championship and enhance their chances of getting into the Valley playoffs. So there's a lot of things that are happening tonight other than just a conference championship.
Well, Carr, 368 yards passing last week and 3 touchdowns. He has 6 on the year. He's thrown for 1,300 yards. And Jason Mandelaris, the quarterback for Centennial, has really come on. He's passed for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. And, of course, their main threat is Jared Clark for the Golden Hawks, but you'll probably see a lot of Andrew Stubbe and Adam Sherrill for Centennial in the backfield.
Yeah, most definitely. Centennial is going to try to control the line of scrimmage with their running game like they have all year long. Mandelaris has simply improved, I think, on the same level with the Nate Lewis at Bakersfield High School. He means that much to their team and their balance. Stockdale, getting David Carr healthy meant everything. McGarry goes back to his natural position as a running back, and I'm interested to see him as a running back. We saw him the last time as quarterback. So tonight we're going to see him as a runner.
David Carr, the quarterback for Stockdale, hands off to McGarry. Now, when we saw Stockdale last, McGarry was a quarterback and did a fine job running. In fact, he has over 700 yards this year rushing.
He did an outstanding job against a very good Highland team. As a matter of fact, in that game, in the first half, the game was very close before Highland was able to open it up. But I think the Stockdale coaches have done a wonderful job in keeping this team together. With David Carr on the sidelines for 4 games, it was very difficult, but now he's healthy, and last week he lit him up.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about him in the preseason, how good he could be. And everybody, this kid's legitimate. He can throw the football.
Trace Marino is out for Centennial as a cornerback. He's a 4-year player. Carr to throw it. His pass incomplete. Guarded by Jason Wall. Also, Mike Turman, their outstanding inside linebacker, probably the best in the area, has leg injury. He is not playing tonight. And Gabe Rosas is questionable, a down lineman. So Centennial has lost some very good people, but they have tremendous depth.
Well, Turman and Moreno, that hurts their defense because Moreno has great speed. He's a senior. He's a great cover guy. We've talked about him all year long. Turman is just a stud. He's a flat-out stud. He can get it done. He hits you, he pursues, and we're not sure the extent of his injury to this point. I don't know if he'll even play the rest of the year. I'm not real sure, but hopefully we'll see him again. But it does definitely, you can't lose those kind of people and it not affect your defense.
We have Chris Branson playing corner on the other side. Carr to throw, looking left for the screen. To McGarry, complete. 5 yards down the sidelines, knocked out of bounds, shy of the first down. Excellent pursuit by the Centennial Golden Hawks.
Well, they've done that all year long, Mark. They're excellent at pursuing. Not only are they going to beat you up front, and they're very physical, they're big, they like to take control of the line of scrimmage, but they want to get pressure on Carr tonight. They can't let him set up and throw because he'll pick them apart. And in the first series, Centennial did just that. They got pressure on him. They didn't let him set up and throw. And even though they did a good job disguising that screen, Centennial was there.
Jan Stubbe, the head coach of Centennial, said his team has a lot of quickness despite the fact that they have a lot of size, of course. They combine quickness and size in their team. And they have a punishing ground game, which they developed early this year, and then Mandelaris has come alive since then. Stockdale punts it away. Comes to Centennial at the 35-yard line. Pepper the stretch the middle, 40, 50, midfield, breaks a couple of tackles into Stockdale territory.
And Mark, there's an example of a big guy who can run, who has great quickness. Pepper has great quickness, and we saw him earlier. Actually, we've seen him twice this year against Bakersfield and Garces, and he can run the football. They've given him the ball in a few short yardage situations, and a couple times he's almost broken big plays. And Centennial has big people, but they're athletic. Don't be fooled, they're not slow at all.
And they have great depth, too. First and 10 for the Golden Hawks at the Stockdale 45-yard line. I formation for Centennial behind Jason Mandelaris. Stockdale with a lot of people on the line of scrimmage. Clark the ball across the left side. Stays on his feet, goes forward inside the 40 to about the 39.
And this Stockdale defense is going to be tested early because, again, we've already talked about Centennial wants to hammer away, and Jared Clark does it better than anybody. I mean, he's had an outstanding year, and this Centennial front four can get it done. They will block you, they'll beat on you, they're big. They've done an outstanding job this year, and it's going to be tough for this Stockdale team tonight. They're going to have to change it up a little bit, give Centennial some different looks, and they're not going to, they cannot allow Centennial to get off on them up front.
Mandelaris on 2nd and 5 for Centennial. Gives the ball to his fullback. Sherrill, we talked about Adam, has really come on as a player for Centennial, especially in the last 5 games since the Garces ball game. Caught a touchdown pass last week. It'll be 3rd and short. And I was going to say Jason Wall, the backup quarterback, is starting at wide receiver tonight and also at quarterback for Centennial.
Well, Sherrill's a transfer from Community Christian, where last year he finished in the top 10 in the section in rushing and had a great year. And I don't think the coaches really expected that much from him, but he has really matured and has played well on both sides of the ball. He's really been good defensively, too.
Andrew Stubbe wide to the left, the coach's son. He's a junior. Seen more playing times this year as progressed. Clark on the outside, hit and dropped. It'll be 4th down for Centennial. Fine play for Stockdale. for number 44.
And Mark, that time Stockdale did mix it up. They brought 7 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and so you couldn't block man on man. They slipped a tackle to the outside and made a great play, and that's exactly what they have to continue to do tonight. They can't play head up with Centennial because Centennial's too strong and too big. They got to change it up a little bit.
Great tackle by Eric. Don't call me Peter Ubroff. 4th down and 3.
The U-man.
4th and 3 for Centennial. They're going for it in Stockdale territory. Long count. Play action. Mandela's to throw. Heavy rush. Going to his left. Nobody's there. And he goes down. Stockdale takes over with a great defensive effort.
And that's just great coverage downfield. Centennial's had great success over the last 5 weeks in their rollout patterns, throwing the ball. Mandela's been excellent. But that time, it was defended extremely well in the secondary, caused the sack. And a big, big defensive possession for Stockdale.
Well, you have a quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, rolling to his left, and Narrator was about 30 yards downfield. He just didn't have the time to throw it, and they recovered.
And actually, they were looking for the tight end on a drag pattern over across the middle of the field and just better coverage.
Carr to throw. This pass complete. Number 14, a 5-yard gain. Jeffrey, who has quite a few receptions this year. And to be 2nd and 5, Wall with the tackle for Centennial. In fact, Jeffrey is the top receiver, 35 receptions coming in for 414 yards.
Well, it's just good to see Carr healthy. I mean, we've been talking about him all year long, and now we get to see him throw the football. And folks, you're in for a treat tonight. This kid's big, he's strong, he's got great footwork, and he's got an arm.
About 6'4", over 200 pounds. Now Garrett running hard, 1st down, inside Centennial territory.
Stockdale, I like what they're doing already. Threw on 1st down, traditional rundown, and I think Centennial knows that Stockdale is more of a throwing team. You know McGarry's had a good year running the football. They know that Stockdale's going to have to have success throwing the ball tonight. But a good play calling, mixing it up a little bit, keeping Stockdale off balance.
They look good, the initial part of this game. 8:15 to play in the 1st quarter. 1st and 10 for Stockdale, the Mustangs. 2-step drop. The pass intercepted by Jason Wong. Centennial has some running room to his right. 35-40, cuts back. And it is the Golden Hawks ball, and an errant throw by David Carr, trying to force it.
Well, I think what happened on that play is they wanted the hook pattern, the look in. It was covered so well, he pumped the receiver to take off and got pressure and threw a bad ball. That was just a bad ball. He shouldn't have thrown it, and I think he knows that. He wishes he has that one back.
Well, Jason Wong makes his presence felt in the defensive backfield for Centennial. Caught the ball at the left, went to his right. It is 1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks.
Well, Mark, Centennial has an outstanding defense. I mean, they've been outstanding all year long. Only one team this year has held Bakersfield scoreless to the 3rd quarter, and it was Centennial.
Thanks to Rodney Wright, BHS scored 3 times in the last quarter. Clark on a power sweep across the 45 to about the 47, and they run left so effectively, Centennial.
Yes, they do. I mean, they really run the ball wherever they want to run it. I mean, this year that's about it, the way it's been for them. They're big up front, they're huge up front, and the guys do a great job up front blocking, and we're going to talk about that all night long because that's the key to their team, is how good they are technique-wise blocking up front. I mean, they do a great job. Mandelaris has made this team more explosive with his ability to improve over the last 4 weeks throwing the football, so it makes it more difficult for teams to key on their run because they can throw it so effectively now.
He definitely has made them more diverse. Branson wide to the left for Centennial on 2nd down. Mandelaris on the option. Keeps it, has a 1st down, and more, about 5 more. 1st and 10 inside Stockdale territory. Jason showing his speed.
Well, that's nothing new to us because we've seen him run the ball in earlier games, especially against Garces. He did an outstanding job running the football, had some big plays, and a nice call to the open side of the field on the option. Mandelaris made a good read, kept it, picks up the 1st down.
Now, that was the first game he actually came into his own, the Garces game. They challenged him in practice that week after the BHS game. He had a brilliant game. He faked the ball well. He ran well, scored a touchdown.
Well, I think, you know, with this team, they needed him to step forward leadership-wise, not only just verbally, but they needed him to start playing and making plays, and he's done that.
And he's showing more confidence. 1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks. Ball on the right hash mark. Mandelaris 2-step drop. His pass complete on the far side. And about a 6-yard gain to number 42, Jared Clark.
That was a nice job by Centennial picking up the blitz that time because Stockdale was coming. And Mandelaris did a quick drop, got rid of the ball. Stubbe was open. Very nice call and a good reception.
Reception by Andrew Stubbe. And, of course, he play some wide receiver and running back for
Andrew kind of
Centennial.
does a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
for his team.
they really molded him into the offensive unit as they have Adam Sherrill in the last 5 or 6 weeks.
And you know, Centennial does that with a few of their guys. They're utility guys, kind of like in baseball, those utility players. And they're very valuable to their team because they can do so many things.
Andrew is wide to the right for Centennial. Clark, the ball carrier up the middle, has a first down as he's across the 30 to about the 27-yard line. And Centennial pounding up the middle, passing, running, showing a lot of diversity in their offense.
Well, I think this team caught fire against Bakersfield High School when they realized how good they really could be, the way they ran the ball on the Drillers for 3 quarters, because they really did run the ball in Bakersfield effectively for 3 quarters, and then, of course, BHS in the 4th quarter won the game. But basically, I think from that point on, and then after that game, Mandalaris matured, and this team has a lot of balance, and they have a lot of weapons.
They're trying to step things up as they head to the playoffs. Clark, off to the right side, pounds his way forward for about 7 yards. You know, he's 170 pounds, but runs very hard. Didn't have an opening up the middle, kind of sliced his way to the right and put his head forward, just like Bennett for BHS likes to go forward.
Yeah, we did a nice job that time because there was nothing off tackle, and he bounced it outside. He can run inside or outside, and he is another one of those guys. A lot of guys like that in our area this year. Deceptive speed, not great speed, but can bounce the ball outside and make a play and bust a play. But this kid's tough. He's a little dinged up tonight. I know coaches were telling us that he's not 100%, but he's out there playing.
Branson wide to the left for Centennial. 2nd and about 3. Clark has the first down behind his offensive line. Gets inside the 15 to about a 13-yard line. A late flag, most likely personal foul against one of the teams, if not both. 4:51 to play in the 1st quarter.
Right now, Mark, Centennial having things going their way as they start to kind of gain momentum on the ground. And like you mentioned earlier, throwing the ball a little bit. But that might have been one of those plays where you don't call a flag on that because both guys are blocked. I mean, it wasn't a clip. It wasn't a late hit. It was just 2 guys making contact downfield. And I don't know if there necessarily needs a flag on that play.
That's true. And the penalty is against Stockdale, a dead ball foul.
Because when you're in a big game, your emotions are going.
That's what I was going to mention that. This is a big game.
You got to compensate for that a little bit. And I'm not saying that was a bad call by the official, but I think in these kinds of games, just kind of let that go. You warn them, let them know that, hey, come on, guys, knock it off. But don't throw the flag this early in the game.
Keep the hankies in the pocket, according to Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, and the guys
do. It'll be 1st and goal for Centennial.
Let's say the officials do a great
really
job.
Flagrant, yeah.
The officials do a great job, and they do a great job every game. And I mean, I couldn't be out there doing it, and it's a very difficult job.
Neither could I.
But they do a wonderful job, and take nothing away from them. But I just like to see the players play, and your emotions are going to run high in a big game. You can't help it.
Now we have a packed house at West High School tonight. Centennial's taking on Stockdale. The bands are in competition, the cheerleaders are in competition, the parents and the booster clubs are in competition.
Hey, high school football at its finest.
It really is.
That's what a rivalry is all about.
Stockdale 7-yard line.
And sportsmanship has to be a part of it. At 4:45 to play in the 1st quarter, no score. Centennial on the move, 1st and goal from inside the Stockdale 10. Mandalaris with a long count. To Clark, nice opening. Close to the goal line, dives forward. Probably at the 2 or 1 yard line.
And this is pretty traditional Centennial football. Running the ball right, running the ball left, and Clark picking and choosing his way. And before the penalty, on that last run by Clark, you saw him get into the hole off the right side and kind of almost grab his tackle's jersey to wait on the block. That's how disciplined he is. He will run inside the tackles and wait for that block, and if he can't get anything, he'll just put his head down.
You have tackles like Brian Kitching, who's 6'5", 250, and another guy who's 260. You can grab and just kind of go along for the ride.
I think he kind of hid behind him for a second. He didn't know where he was. I mean, they're so big in there.
About the 3 yard line, Centennial. Jared Clark into the end zone. Touchdown, Centennial Golden Hawks.
And that's too easy. When they get in that area, and remember early in the season, this Centennial team had problems scoring inside the 20. I mean, they had to get that monkey off their back, and they went to Garces, and they caged that monkey. It was all over with. But Centennial has had problems since then, since they kind of exploded in that game. And when they get the ball with good field position and they start to develop the run, see, this is the type of a team that will wear you down. They wear you down quarter after quarter after quarter. Then in the 4th quarter, if the game's close, they're going to be able to execute because of their size and their skill people. A lot like Bakersfield High and Foothill, I think. And because Mandalaris is throwing the ball so well, now their balance makes them even more dangerous. And so that's why they're so difficult to defend. I mean, teams with depth and size wear you down. They almost play to the 4th quarter because if the game's close, they know they're going to have the advantage. They know they can wear you down.
Now, we've seen a lot of teams this year that play well for the first half and for 2.5 quarters, but they falter miserably in the fourth quarter, either due to the fact they're down by 2 or 3 touchdowns, or they simply get fatigued and don't have the depth to carry them through.
Well, I like the Centennial team because of their size and because of their depth and because of their balance with the way Mandelaris is throwing the ball now.
What a nice kick by Jonah Long on the PAT. We have kickers in this area. 9 quarterbacks have thrown for over 1,000 yards in Kern County.
Yeah,
the year of the quarterback.
The ball's in the air, but look at the running back situation as well. I mean,
Yeah.
the balance has been tremendous in a lot of teams this year.
That's true. A lot of offense through various teams this year. Centennial has defeated many teams this year, among the top in Bakersfield.
We talked about it in the pregame. Centennial sets themselves up in this game. By winning this game, they win the conference, which is something they want to do outright. Second thing they do is they move in right behind Bakersfield High School as far as seedings go for our area, for the Bakersfield area. It goes Bakersfield, it goes Centennial if they are to win, because Centennial beat Highland and Centennial beat Foothill. So that makes a huge difference when they start seeding with the northern teams and then the central teams, which is us. And it makes all the difference in the world, whether or not you get a home game, what bracket you're in. So this has a lot of implications, not only just the conference championship.
Well, Centennial beat Highland 17-12. They held Ethan Beck to 1 reception in that game, and it was probably Dover's worst performance of the year, Jeff Dover. They beat Foothill last week 21-9, coming back from a 9-0 deficit. As the kick goes through the end zone by Jonah Long, it'll be 1st and 10 for Stockdale at their own 20-yard line. 4:07 to play in the first quarter. Stockdale nothing and Centennial 7.
And this is the last week of the regular season, so everybody's getting pumped up. Everybody's talking about conference championships. Everybody's playing for conference championships, but really everybody's thinking about the postseason and the playoffs and who's going to get seeded, where you're going to go. You know, the teams that finish in the top 2, everybody wants to get that home field advantage and play at home, and that's very important. Stockdale must establish themselves early in this game because Centennial's too explosive.
McGarry hit and dropped after about a 1 or 2 yard gain. 4:02 to play. By the way, this is Stockdale's 3rd try at a league championship. The 2nd year in the SSL, they were defeated by Tehachapi. In the year in which the Warriors were undefeated. They tried last year against South and were blown away in that last game. And they're trying tonight. It's Centennial's 2nd consecutive year. They're gunning for a league championship last year in the SSL when they were defeated by Garces.
I think Coach Hans has done a marvelous job just keeping this team together, because without your stud quarterback in there, it's awfully difficult, but what a job they've done.
Carr throwing far to his left, complete to McGarry. First down for Stockdale on the far side at the 40-yard line. And Carr was looking right initially and just kind of lofted it out there.
And we haven't seen McGarry catch the ball because he's been throwing it or trying to throw it, playing quarterback, but an outstanding athlete and a heck of a throw. Actually was thrown to the wrong side. McGarry had to turn completely around 360 and made a heck of a catch.
You can see they're going to McGarry not only as far as a runner tonight, but as a receiver.
Well, when you have an athlete, you got to get him the ball. No matter what you do, either you hand it to him or throw it to him, you got to get him the ball.
That's what Beatrice does with Rodney Wright. Pena with the reverse, hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Pena brought down by number 73, Lonnie Jones.
Lonnie Jones with a tackle for Centennial. Loses maybe a half yard or a yard, 3:03 to play in the first quarter.
Trying to come back inside with that counter, and Centennial wasn't fooled at all, just stayed home. And Long made a nice play and kind of swallowed him on that play.
How would you like to run into him?
I would not.
Hello.
I would not.
Says, I'm feasting on some dessert. 2nd and a long 10 for Stockdale. Carr rolling to his right, looking downfield. Here comes the pressure. The pass complete, a gain of about 2 or 3 yards, but Centennial, the 2 or 3 players on the tackle. Number 88 for Stockdale. So Pope. Pope is about their 2nd or 3rd leading receiver for Stockdale this year.
And Hebert had outstanding coverage on that. Actually kind of strung the play out. He wanted to go to him a little bit earlier. It was a tight end, kind of a square out pattern, and they stretched it out a little bit. But Hebert, great coverage. And playing his outside linebacker position, doing a great job for Centennial.
Jeffrey White to the right for Stockdale, ball on the right hash mark. Carr looking straight up the middle. His pass too high and almost picked off by number 19 for Centennial.
And that time they had exactly what they wanted, Mark. He just threw a bad ball. He didn't throw the ball right on the money because he was open. He had his tight end right down the middle of the field, in between the seam, and he just missed it. And I don't think he's quite in rhythm yet tonight, but we got a long way to go.
Well, the Centennial defense can throw you off rhythm. Matai almost with the interception for Centennial. 4th down for Stockdale, 2:05 to play.
Well, the key to Centennial all year long, when they've played good quarterbacks, like when they played Garces and when they played Dover, they get pressure on you. They get up in your face, and they don't allow you to set up and get a rhythm.
Hubbard lets it bounce for Centennial. Goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. In Golden Hawk territory, Centennial will set up shop there. 2:01 to play in the first quarter. Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. And you're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16. How about those sponsors, Bobby? The sponsors for tonight's game.
I wonder what we were doing there. Now I know what we're doing.
Fast Trip, Total Body Chiropractic, Precision Driving School. Get on the Get, Bus, and ARC Technology, ARRC. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Prep Football Game of the Week right here on Time Warner Cable.
I just love our commercials, because whoever does them, and our production people, I know they do them. They're great. They're fun to watch.
Production is the name of the game. Draw play to Clark. There's a little opening. Puts his head down across the 20 to about the 24. He's a tough 170-pounder.
He's a
Stacked by
gutsy
number
kid.
24.
A lot stronger than you think, a lot faster than you think, and you can't arm tackle this kid because he's going to put his head down on you and try to get all he can get.
Marty Gomez with a tackle for Stockdale. I saw Clark last year. He was a backup tailback on a very talented team, and I was amazed by his speed and quickness. He had a tremendous average. He didn't carry the ball a lot, but he probably averaged 7 or 8 yards to carry.
Well, he's just done a wonderful job this year. I think when you're in those situations and you play with good people, it allows you to get better. And that practice time last year and the times he did get made him that much better. And he's ready this year, and he's had a great year.
Opportunity. Sherrill has a first down for Centennial. Across the 30 to 31, he almost had some more real estate to run.
Well, Adam can run in between the guards and the tackles. He's very good running inside. He's a lot. Again, he's another one of those guys that has surprising speed, and he's very physical. I mean, for Community Christian, when he played there, he was a nose tackle and a running back, so that gives you an indication how tough he is.
We talked off the air about he's also a fine baseball player, as is Jason Waugh.
Yes, he is.
As a sophomore last year, was one of the top players in the league, and Waugh's playing wide receiver and defensive back tonight for Centennial. Great speed. Back at quarterback. Mandelaris to Clark. Breaks an arm tackle in the backfield, gains about 2 yards. Nice penetration by Stockdale, but Clark is very quick.
They were coming again, Stockdale coming again, showing another blitz, and they had a linebacker blitz on that time, and good stuff that they're doing early. I mean,
Eric
even though
Uberoff with the tackle once again, number 44.
the U-man from his defensive end position.
Shankly for Foothill, number 44. That's a very prominent number for a defensive player.
Everybody likes those 44s, just like they like 23, right? But that's another sport. Though.
That's true. That's your favorite sport. 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. Second down and 7 for Centennial. Mandelaris coverage breaks down, throws it incomplete. Nice rush by Stockdale.
And they were coming again. They were coming again. And that's good. That's a good call. Put pressure on him. Make them try to block more people than they can pick up. You know, get guys in his face, and they made him rush it. And it was an incomplete pass, and a good job by the Stockdale defense.
I've noticed Andrew Stubbe, he walks a little bit like his dad. I could see that Stubbe jaunt out there.
No, I never really paid attention to the walk. I mean, you know him better than I do.
I could tell, man. Number 43, the pass was intended for him. Underthrown, good pressure by Stockdale.
You know, this Stockdale defense has been scrappy all year long because they've kind of played under man. You know, it's been tough on them. But they really are gutsy, and they've played really, really hard. This is a team that won't roll over.
They were gutsy in the game that we saw them earlier this year.
Yes, they were.
Well, the mix-up in the backfield, man in motion. Mandelaris has plenty of time, now throws it incomplete to Havens on the far side.
And again, Mark, that's a defensive backfield sack right there because it took too long. Even though he did a nice job of stepping up into the pocket, it all broke down because Stockdale did a great job in coverage downfield and allowed the defensive lineman for Stockdale to finally get to him, and that's a defensive backfield.
Did you notice that Jared Bratcher was in motion? He almost ran into Mandelaris as the ball was
that
snapped. So there was a problem with execution.
That play really never developed.
But Jason almost made it happen. As Hubbard punts it away for Centennial, no harm, no foul, as he was bumped after the punt. Comes down to the Stockdale 27-yard line, down by Centennial.
McGarry just put a hit on somebody down there. Oh, man.
We talked about McGarry being an outstanding all-around player.
Yeah, he likes to hit, too.
Well, he's a football player.
Yeah, he is. He likes to hit.
When you're a football player, you have a chance to do something, you do, whether you play quarterback, wide receiver, special teams, or, it could be the last game.
That's exactly right.
In his career, the last game of the season for Stockdale, so you have to play it like it's your last game.
Exactly, and we need to see Carr has looked good on a couple of throws early, but then he's looked a little bit erratic, and they need to get him settled down, kind of get into a rhythm. And
McGarry puts his head down, runs through about 2 or 3 Golden Hawks.
Because if they don't, sooner or later, the Centennial team's going to create another turnover, field position becomes just, awesome for them once they get the ball. And again, any good team that plays half the field that can run the football is going to get the ball into the end zone. That's how I feel. And Centennial is as good as anybody in our area running the football. So Stockdale's got to get consistent on offense.
After one quarter from West High School at Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
If Windows 95, Pentium 133, the internet and gigabytes have you all confused, then you should buy your computer at ARC Technology, your local computer connection with personal service for just the right equipment at the lowest prices and service after the sale. Check this fall special. The hot new 6-speed CD-ROM drive, just $98. Call ARC for low prices on all RAM upgrades, including laptops and notebooks. And ARC will upgrade all Packard Bells. Don't you buy a computer until you check with ARC Technology, 3 blocks north of Costco at the Clock Tower.
Excuse me, is that tuxedo from AJ's?
Let AJ's get you noticed. A Bakersfield tradition for over 25 years, specializing in Pierre Cardin, Christian Dior, Oscar de la Renta, and Calvin Klein. AJ's Tuxedo Junction, with 3 great locations to serve you.
Get on the get. Geo, go. Get ready, set. For a whole month of price that lasts, all you gotta do is get a flash pass.
The Get Bus is so easy to do.
I catch up on my reading too.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Here's what we say.
Get on the get bus, get bus, get on. Get on the get on the get bus, get bus, get on. Get on the get bus, get bus, get on.
We begin a second quarter play from West High School, with Centennial holding a 7-0 lead over Stockdale. We will be covering volleyball next week on Time Warner Cable, then covering football all December. But we don't have any sponsors for the playoffs. Our sponsors bought a 10-game package for the regular season. So we need sponsors. If you are a business, you would like to sponsor these games on Time Warner Cable, give us a call at 322-1941, 322-1941. We would love for you to be a sponsor of prep football on Time Warner Cable for the playoffs.
And volleyball next week.
And volleyball next week, yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Get to see some of the, well, heck, one of the nation's top teams.
Centennial
right
is ranked number 1 in the nation, number 1 in the state.
Stockdale
is ranked in the top 10 in the state.
Outstanding programs.
And same schools that are here tonight. Second down. Carr throwing it, knocked away at the last moment at midfield. Excellent play by number 82. Sean Taylor for Centennial.
And Taylor had great coverage, and Collins running like a little fade to the sideline. But did you see Carr's arm on that one? He threw that one off his back foot, and that was a bullet. But just really good coverage. Stockdale cannot afford to have 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, because even if the game stays 7-0 or 10-0, Centennial just too much offensively. Stockdale must get something going early in this game. They cannot afford to continue to let this game get away from them with offensively where they don't do anything with the ball.
And Stockdale primarily throwing the ball tonight. Centennial showing more diversity as the season has progressed. Nice high punt comes to Hebard, the fair catch inside his own territory. Oh, at the 36, 37-yard line, 1st and 10 for Centennial. And we would definitely like to cover high school football playoff action on Time Warner Cable. As I mentioned, if you'd like to be a sponsor, call us at 322-1941.
We're going to have some great action coming up. Of course, you're going to see this Centennial team in the playoffs. You're going to see Bakersfield. You're going to see Highland. You'll probably see a lot of your favorite teams. And what a great year it's been for high school football. What a great year it's been for Time Warner Cable to bring this package to you. And we're just honored to be a part of it. And we're going to continue to do it for you all through December, getting up to the Valley Championship.
That's when the weather gets nice and cold. Mandelaris and Clark hitting the backfield and dropped. Excellent penetration by Stockdale. Done a great job defensively, the Mustangs. And, you know, when we saw them earlier in the year against Highland, they played very tough in the first half before Highland kind of wore them down with some of their big plays. But Stockdale has come out and played very hard tonight. They're into the game emotionally, and they need to hopefully develop some diversity offensively.
Well, the thing is with them is that this is an opportunistic defense. We've seen them earlier in the season where they'll take advantage of some turnovers and give the ball back to their offense. But again, we've already said Stockdale's got to get something going in the next possession.
Mandelaris rolling out to his right. The pressure is coming. Looking downfield. Nobody is open, though. And he will be thrown out of bounds. possibly a late hit, but they don't call anything.
But see, there's the good no call right there. See, that's what I'm talking about earlier in the game. Momentum. That was not a deliberate, you know, and I hope they're not going to throw a flag on the play, but that was not a deliberate hit out of bounds. That was just his momentum carrying into Mandelaris out of bounds. And heck of a job by Stockdale's defense on that play. Stringing it again. Defensive secondary caused that play. Great coverage downfield. And Stockdale doing the smart thing. Mixing up their defenses. They're coming with a corner blitz, with a linebacker blitz. They show a 7-man front and they show a 4-man front. So Centennial not really getting good reads right now. And Stockdale mixing it up and being very effective doing it.
And Centennial doesn't like to be in a 3rd and 17 situation like they are now. Of course, Clark was stopped on the first play. Then he had the loss there by Mandelaris.
Well, they're stronger in the shorter situations because that's their strength.
Mandelaris to throw. Pressure's coming on him. Now he goes down for another loss.
And hey, the Stockdale defense is here.
Yes, they are.
They just need their offense to get something going. Only down 7-0. They're playing a whale of a game so far, midway through the second quarter. They just need their offense to get it going.
MacArthur Crowder with the sack. Love the name.
MacArthur, what a great name.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Stockdale's going to get good field position off this kick. They need to get something going, but their defense is playing outstanding. But really, Mark, all year long, their defense has been outstanding because they've been undermanned because of the offense and Carr being hurt, out of rhythm, having to play different people in different positions. And that's why I say, you know, Coach Hans, you got to look at him. I mean, I think within the conference, you got to look at him for Coach of the Year because of the job he's done with personnel down, people being hurt. I mean, and look at, they're playing for a conference championship tonight.
And they're playing like they're in a conference championship game. As you mentioned, they've put Centennial into passing situations, and their coverage has been great downfield. They've strung out some of the plays, and eventually, if you can't get your receivers open, your blocking is going to break down.
Well, you try to play in a higher percentage ratio, whatever you're doing. I mean, what I mean by that is, I mean, obviously, if you're more of a running team, you want 3rd and 3, 2nd and 5, those types of things where you have 2 downs. I mean, and we've already seen Centennial tonight play 4 downs and get a 1st down with the run. So that's their strength. But what Stockdale's done to them tonight in the last 3 possessions is cause what you just said. Cause the longer 2nd and 10, and then a 3rd and 15, and that takes them out of balance.
Centennial definitely doesn't like that.
Right, that's not something they want. They're not playing to their strengths when they do that.
Hubbard punts it away. Stockdale will have good field position. If they keep the ball, it's fumbled by the Mustangs, but I believe they recovered it. 1st and 10 for Stockdale at their own 43-yard line.
And turnovers are always a big part of a big game. Turnovers can either help you or they kill you. One of the two. And this Stockdale team, not really a team throughout the course of this year that's turned the ball over that much. They really haven't. But they can't afford to do it tonight.
Make Centennial beat you. Don't help them beat you. Don't give them gifts.
Well, in a big game like I talked about earlier, your emotions are running wild. You're all pumped up. Sometimes you have to learn how to stay at an even keel emotionally. It's hard, especially in a big game, but you got to do it.
Carr to throw it. Out and up pattern. Rifles it. Is it complete? And it's in Centennial territory. Fine throw by Carr. 1st and 10 for Stockdale.
Well, he heard me. Because now he's starting to crank it up. That was great coverage.
Jeffrey with the reception.
That was great coverage because Carr had to throw the ball to Jeffries in between the safety and right in front of the corner, and he threw the ball the only place he could.
He just knifed it.
That's one of those Dover throws.
Oh.
Low, almost like a frisbee off the ground. A great throw.
Montai with the tackle for Centennial. 1st and 10 for Stockdale. We have flags down. Right when the ball was snapped, most likely against Stockdale. 9:57 to play in the second quarter. 7-0 Centennial.
I know one person who's happy about having Carr healthy, and that's Jeffrey. Look at his stats, how they just shot up since Carr's been back. And folks, Carr has put up some unbelievable numbers for only playing, what, this is his 5th game?
He missed 2 games, and he only played about half of another game against Highland Palmdale.
So he's in his 5th game of the season. He's put up some just unbelievable numbers for a guy who's only played 5 games.
I wonder what his situation is as far as college recruiters are concerned.
Well, I know.
How being hurt, has it hurt his chances?
Well, I know entering the season, he was on a lot of people's lists, high on their lists.
Now he's rolling to his left. Fine protection, firing it to Collins. Intercepted. Number 2 of the game for Jason Waugh.
Jason Waugh playing extremely well back there, filling in for Moreno, who's hurt. And that's a tough thing to do because I think Moreno, and I've talked about him all year long, one of the better cover guys in all the Valley. But that time, that's a tough ball to throw. If you're going to miss that throw, you got to throw it long. And that time he hung it up, had to throw back across his body. Tough throw. He was open, but he just underthrew Collins a little bit.
And Jason Wall with 2 picks tonight. He's making his presence felt. We talked about him being an outstanding athlete with a lot of speed.
Well, Jason Wall is showing Centennial's depth that we've talked about and why they're so good this year. You can lose a guy like Moreno, who I think is an all-area cover guy in DB, and here in steps Wall, and he's got 2 picks already in the first half.
Well, the athletes come to play. Clark, the ball carrier off the left side, not much there. It gets to about the 6-yard line. As Stockdale continues to penetrate very well, and they're sticking about 3 guys making the tackle for the Mustangs. Loss of a yard, so Stockdale's come to play tonight.
So far, they're not really getting dominated, but that's because they're giving them different looks. They're not giving them that man-on-man, straight-up blocking, traditional 4-3 look every time. They'll give it to them one time, then they mix it up, and they bring 3 guys, and they bring 2 guys. So, you know, now it becomes one of those things. As you get in this part of the season, teams that make the adjustments,
right,
those are the teams that win games. And of course, teams that don't turn the ball over. You can't turn the ball over and win football games.
And you can't make critical penalties inside your own territory,
well,
or within the red zone.
Mark is a turnover. It's the same thing.
Mandelaris with a long count, trying to draw Stockdale off sides, and I think he succeeded. At 8:45 to play in the second quarter, down deep in their own territory.
You know, last week in Centennial's, you know, a lot of people were surprised about Centennial knocking off Foothill. Coach Permenter, the head coach at Foothill, didn't talk about how well they ran the ball, but the difference in that game was they were shocked at how well Mandelaris threw the ball.
8 for 10 in the game.
He was unbelievable. And Coach Permenter said we were not prepared for how well we knew he was improved, but we didn't know that he could throw the ball like that. And he said that was the difference in the game. They beat us through the air, not on the ground.
255 yards for Mandelaris, his best outing of the year. And it really came into his own against Garces when they defeated the Rams 37-6. He's improved a little bit every game.
He's delivering the goods when it matters.
Right. Second and 11 for Centennial, deep in their own territory. Stockdale, the defense having a little discussion there, trying to figure out what type of defensive set they will show at the Golden Hawks.
And of course, Mark, tonight, no matter what happens, Centennial will share at least a piece of the conference championship, which I know that's a nice feeling when you can do that. And of course, they want it outright though.
They don't want to share
it. They want it to themselves.
Sherrill, the ball carrier, breaks it. First down for Centennial. Adam running right to left across the 15 to about the 17.
And that time, Stockdale just kind of over-pursued because Centennial ran the counter inside to Sherrill. And I'm telling you, folks, the guy is fast in between the tackles.
The guy's about 5'9 and a half, 205 pounds. He's fast and has a lot of power.
He can run, and he's explosive when he gets in there. He's had 2 big runs in this game already. And we've seen with the better running teams this year, Bakersfield with Bennett, Foothill with Puente, and now Centennial, who has actually used 2 or 3 different people there, but Sherrill, as of late, those fullbacks who complement the tailback.
Clark in a pitch out. Maybe picks up 3 or 4 yards, running wide as Stockdale strung it out. He did a great job to get that many yards on a particular play.
And let's not forget about Thomas and Highland, complements Cisneros, who's had a tremendous year of his own running the football. I mean, you know, that's when you were talking about how many guys have thrown for over 1,000 yards this year. We knew coming into the season, tremendous quarterbacks. Dover, Carr, Lewis has stepped himself up into the top 5, I think.
Rivera, Ridgeview, come to his own. And Larmer's had a good year for East.
Oh, outstanding year. And of course, Robinson, who was having a tremendous year before he became academically ineligible 2 weeks ago. So the balance of the teams in the Bakersfield area this year have been tremendous.
First down for Centennial. Across the 30-yard line to about the 32. Echeverry the ball carrier for the first time tonight.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They use 2 or 3 different guys.
So many guys, don't
they do, and that's where their depth becomes so important. They use 2 or 3 different guys in the fullback spot, and they like to run that power I guy inside on the counter like they did with Sherrill in the previous play. But, you know, getting back to that balance situation, Brad Harris at Ridgeview has to be commended. Steve Tucker's done a great job with that program. But Brad Harris worked with Dover at Highland, came over to Ridgeview, and now is turning that young man over there, that young quarterback Rivera, into a fine, fine player.
Clark off the right side with a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, pounding up the middle. That right side. Ninez with a tackle for Stockdale, 6:34 to play. Stockdale hanging tough, only down 7-0. Yeah, you talk about the great quarterbacks, and Thomas and Cisneros are an outstanding running tandem for Highland. They're both, I guess, in the 800-yard category. Of course, Dover The quarterback has run for about 400 yards and passed for close to 2,000 now.
If Dover throws going into 90, he needed 4 touchdowns to tie the CIF record for touchdowns in a season set by a guy from Bakersfield. And who is that guy? Last year.
Mandelaris throwing deep, has a man out there. It is incomplete. Number 20, the intended receiver, Jared Bratcher.
And they want that one back.
Had a weave underneath that pass.
And he was wide
open. A little
open.
bit more.
He was wide open, and he just overthrew him a little bit. But they've been hooking up lately for big plays. And Bratcher, another guy that we've talked about, plays both sides of the ball. But actually, since the Garces game, has really gravitated more towards the offensive end and has become their big play guy. They've used him to get deep, as you just saw.
Yeah.
And he's got great speed. So he's had a heck of a year catching the ball over, I think, the last half of the season. He's been tremendous, but the first half of the season was more of a defender and did a great job as a DB, so a versatile player.
He had 2 touchdowns receiving last week. Pitch back to Clark, first down on the left side. Look at that speed as he goes out of bounds in front of the Centennial bench. Across midfield, 1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks. They throw it right, they run it left. You have Adam Scherer, Nick Echeverry playing fullback. Pepper can play there. Clark and also Andrew Stuhley can play tailback. They have so many weapons, so many interchangeable plays.
Mandelaris made a great play, great pitch. Got Clark outside, good blocking by Centennial. They ran to the open side of the field to try to free up Clark. And, you know, right now, though, Stockdale's still doing a good job. I think Stockdale's right where they want to be. They're right where they want to be. They just got to get their offense not to turn the ball over. And I think the last possession that they had, their offense started to click. They just can't force the ball. They got to let it happen.
Juan Bratcher wide to the right for Centennial. Inside handoff for Centennial Echeverry with a gain of about 1 or 2 yards. Number 32, what a great number. 5:40 to play in the first half. Stockdale wants to stop here on defense, or at least to hold Centennial to a field goal.
We don't have any phones to call in when I asked that last question. Like, okay, who it is? Line number 1. We don't have that. But it was Craig Thresher at South High School, who this year has had a tremendous year in what is not as good a South High team as they were last year.
He's had a tremendous career. He's setting all kinds of records.
He's incredible. He's had a great year this year. And we talked about him. We haven't talked a lot about that South High team, but he's had a tremendous year.
We haven't had a chance to see him this year. Mandelaris throwing it too high and incomplete.
I think that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It looked like it might have been tipped. But again, Stockdale getting good pressure on him, getting up in his face.
And it was MacArthur Crowder in his face.
MacArthur again.
Oh, yes.
You know, we were talking about Thresher and him throwing 28 touchdowns last year. Well, Dover, going into tonight's game, only needs 4 touchdowns to tie that in 5, which is not something that's that far-fetched for him.
Might be kind of tough against Foothill, though.
Well, that's true, but look at how explosive this Highland team's
Do they count the playoffs?
You know, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
See, if they do, then Highland's definitely...
Thresher last year, remember, at South, they played 4 games.
See, I'm not sure if they count the playoffs or not. We'll have to check that out.
Draw play to Clark, has good opening, has a first down, puts his head down, and Centennial deeper into Stockdale territory at about the 34 on the draw to Jared Clark.
Great call. Stockdale was coming, has been coming on the blitz. Good call. And when Clark gets the open field, he can run the football. He knows how to run.
Gomez with attack for Stockdale.
We're seeing him do some really good things, not 100%, like we talked about earlier. He's a little dinged up, a little sore, not hurt.
Looks close to 100% to me.
He's a little sore, but he's a tough kid. See, that's what I mean. He's just a tough kid.
Mentally tough.
Yes, he is. Not going to miss a game.
Well, I think it's a big game.
Yes, it is.
And he wants to get his 10th touchdown of the year. In fact, he already did.
I think he
That was his 10th touchdown of the year.
I think he just
earlier.
wants to win a conference championship.
Mandelaris rolling to his right, heavy pressure. Pass incomplete to Havens. Hit very hard by number 17 for Stockdale. Travis Pena just timed it perfectly right on Havens.
But again, the pressure that time on Mandelaris, I think, caused that play. He didn't get the ball off as soon as he wanted to. He couldn't get outside the containment, and he had to wait a little bit, and the coverage was good. But again, I think that's more of a up-front play where they get pressure on him, and that's what they've been doing. Really, you know, Centennial's been running the ball effectively, but Stockdale's hanging in there, and now the clock becomes Stockdale's friend. They need to kind of make some plays here and not let Centennial get in the end zone, give the ball back to their offense. If Centennial scores, I think they take complete control of this game going into halftime because of Stockdale's offense been a little ineffective in the first half.
Mandelaris in the play action, setting up for the screen left. The pass complete to Echeverry in the backfield, down the sidelines, puts his head down, and looks to have the first down for Centennial. Hard running by Nick Echeverry of Centennial. Screen left.
And again, the depth comes into play. Great blocking, disguised it well. You could almost kind of see the play coming, and I think Stockdale knew it was coming. They just didn't make the play. They didn't execute and wrap up. but Centennial doing a nice job with their play calling, mixing it up, and Stockdale's going to have to come up with a stop right here.
I'm glad it's not my car that has to be moved, because it'd be very difficult for me to do it at this time.
Well, my wife dropped me off, so I don't have to worry about it.
4:19 to play in the first half, 7-0 in favor of Centennial. It is shy of the first down. He stepped out of bounds, 3rd and a long 2 for the Golden Hawks. Stockdale with about 8 people on the line of scrimmage. Clark has a first down to the 20. Flag is down as he bowls forward to about the 18, but possibly a hold against Centennial.
That was a great little run to the outside. Again, he runs so well.
Bounces out.
He runs really well right at the point of the hole. That time there was nothing there, and he saw it before he even got there. Bounced it outside, straight arm, got to the outside, and he's stronger than he looks, only 170 pounds. But that's why he's had the kind of season that he's had, because he can make those kinds of runs. Good running backs don't have to be great athletes. They just have to know how to run. Bennett at BHS, I think, is a very good athlete. I think he really is, but he knows how to run. He's got that instinctive ability to know how to run, and he's very quick, and he has the ability to put his head down. Yeah, he is, and he'll run over you. You can't, I think he's the only guy I've seen this year that can't be tackled one-on-one. Now, Gerald Irvin, he can't be tackled one-on-one either. But I mean, as far as a fullback, I don't think anybody can tackle David Bennett.
3rd and 10 on the hold against Centennial. Mandelaris looking deep. Pass knocked away by Pena. Pass is thrown on the opposite side to Bratcher.
And we talked about Stockdale having to make plays defensively, and Pena's made two big plays.
Made a couple of them. Looked like he was beat momentarily on the play and came back on the ball and knocked it away.
That's that play we've seen Centennial run. It's like they run a little rollout, and Bratcher runs it like he kind of goes about 15 yards down, runs a hitch where he comes back. Mandelaris gives him a pump, and he goes. That time Mandelaris underthrew him. And that ball should have been picked off, but Pena did a good job even getting a hand on it. But Bratcher was open.
3:40 to play in the second quarter. Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. And what about the sponsors for tonight's game?
Well,
Total Body Chiropractic.
Love our sponsors. AJ Tuxedo Junction.
Precision Driving School.
Fast Trip. And you know, I think one of the best ones in town is the one where you take, I think it's coffee. You know, you're on that side of town by Brim Hall. Because they got a lot of different things you can mix together. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
And Debt, Arc Technology, and AJ's How Do I Look Tuxedo Junction.
Right, and don't forget about Total Body Chiropractic.
Total Body Chiropractic.
Total Body, right.
And we are going to do volleyball next week on Time Warner Cable. And if we can secure some sponsors, and I know that we will, we'll be doing some football, prep football playoff action. Not next week, I believe, but in the following week. And you have to call 322-1941, 322-1941. If you want to be a sponsor, and I know that you want to be a sponsor.
Well, Time Warner's put together such a great package for the community this year, and we've had such great support with our sponsors. We want that to continue, and we want these young men to get an opportunity to be seen by the whole community. So get on board with us.
Going for it on 4th down. Mandelaris pass incomplete. Looking for Heber deep. Double covered. Haven's the intended receiver.
The
Great
Stockdale defense coming up big again. We talked about that. They were going to have to make some stops, and they did it. I'm a little surprised in the fact that I thought Stockdale might kick the ball down there, try to maybe kick it into the corner, bury him down there, and try to get the ball back the way their defense has been playing, but not hurting themselves in this situation.
I'm surprised they threw a post pattern to Havens, the tight end.
Well, I mean, they're trying to go over the middle that time, but there was double coverage. Stockdale's defense has been outstanding, Mark. They've really, really come to play and have played outstanding in this first half.
They certainly have. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. 3:32 to play in the first half. David Carr, quarterback for Stockdale. He is looking to pass again. Nice protection. Fires it. Incomplete. Just in front of us. It's a tough one to Collins.
And we got a hanky down, so in that area, Mark, it normally means we're going to get a holding call. And that's going to definitely play in the Centennial's favor because it's going to push Stockdale back. And if Stockdale has been doing what they've done the whole first half, which is 3 and out and kick, Stockdale gets good, field position again. And
no wonder why the protection was so good.
Yeah, they were holding. But folks, you got to understand how difficult a throw that is. That's a ball that has to be thrown 40 yards on the money, a tight spiral. That's the kind of arm this kid has. He hasn't been on like he was last week in this first half, but I expect to see him come out in the second half and get his team going. He has tremendous talent, and he's got a gun. He's got
very
a cannon.
tough, yeah, as you mentioned, to throw that deep out pattern.
That is a tough
Many
ball
times
to
you
throw.
throw it 45 yards and it only goes maybe 17 upfield. Aikman used to throw that quite a bit at UCLA and could never get the team to the end zone. Of course, we know what he's done with Dallas. He's changed that.
Right.
McGarry, the ball carrier, running hard across the 20, 30 yards, stays on his feet. Boy, he wants to play tonight. close to the first down at about the 34-yard line in Stockdale territory. James McGarry, he can play quarterback, he can play halfback, he can play DB.
Talk about versatility. We've been talking about the Centennial guys with McGarry. I mean, you got to give him your utility man award of the year. This guy does everything. I thought he could sing the national anthem too.
Maybe.
He's had a great year though. Tough kid, plays hard the whole time, and what a valuable guy he's been to Coach Hance this year.
He's done what Mark Hance has asked for. 2:45 to play in the first half. Play action. Carr rolling to his right. The pass is overthrown on the far side. Almost picked off by Jason Law. Jeffrey, the intended receiver. The pressure was pounding in on Carr at the last second as he threw it high to Jeffrey, his intended receiver.
Well, I think what Coach Longsinger is going to do at halftime, when they look at some of the throws and some of the defenses and where they've been throwing the ball and what Centennial's been doing, I think they're going to start probably coming back over the middle a little bit. I think they're going to come back over the middle a little bit, and I think they're going to throw short, and I think they're going to try to maybe stay away from those patterns that take a little bit longer to develop. And I also think that they might tell David to kind of maybe tuck the ball a few times and run to keep him honest.
And Clark now rolling to his right, throws it over the middle, complete. First down to Pena, number 17. Yes, sir.
Well, they're not going to wait for halftime. What I saw the last time was when they stretched them that time, when they ran that little corner pattern, Pena was wide open across the middle. And anytime they can spread them out, if they go slot right, then you're going to draw the safety over, and it's going to be very difficult for a linebacker to match up with Pena because he's big and he runs well. That time, Carr came back to his secondary receiver and he was open. That's a good throw.
2:29 to play in the first half. Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. And you're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
If you've had an accident and are suffering from any of these symptoms, listen to your body and call us today. I'm Dr. Rudy Herrera of Mind and Body Chiropractic. Call us at 837-1505 in Bakersfield or in Delano at 721-1506.
Stockdale's defense has been up to the challenge. They've been up to the challenge in the first half.
Well, they know there's going to be a lot of error, a lot of balls thrown in the air tonight. There has been in the first half, actually by both teams. Line formation for Stockdale. Carr to throw it, nice protection. Throwing deep to Collins. Incomplete, just in front of us. Nice coverage by Centennial. Thought that there might be a little holding on the play, but no flags by the officials.
Now, Taylor played that perfectly. Made him throw the ball long to the outside.
I watched the left hand.
Yeah, well, Taylor did a good job. Actually, Taylor's has played well tonight from his free safety position. They've thrown the ball twice to his area, and both times he's been right on the money. Great coverage.
Sean Taylor.
He's done a nice job.
That's a great name.
Yeah, he's played extremely well. I mean, there's a lot of guys on the Centennial defense that have really played well this year.
Fourth down for Stockdale, 1:40 to play in the first half. They will be punting. The ball is kicked to the right side. Number 24, Branson breaks a couple of tackles, hit very hard and dropped by number 44 for Stockdale. He's had a couple of hits tonight. That being Eric Uberoff. Straight on.
The U-man.
Oh,
putting a hit on him.
Face.
Yeah, he is. He's playing well tonight. He's doing some good things.
Head up.
Yep. But like so many,
that's like a tackling drill.
Yeah, it is. So many of these Stockdale guys playing a lot of different. They play on the special teams, doing a lot of different things, becoming a valuable. You know, we've seen a lot of that this year, and I know we don't talk enough about the guys who are more of a type of utility type player, guys who play on the special teams because they don't get their name in the paper. You know, nobody talks unless they're a kicker like Baker and Beck. Then it's different. But you don't hear a lot about those guys, and they are the heart and soul of these teams. A lot of times they're the kids that don't play on the first team and don't get a lot of reps on offense, but they play their hearts out on the special teams and really are the differences. In the football game, when Baker was kicking the ball away from Rodney Wright in that game, in that football Bakersfield game, it took the coverage to get to the ball, to down the ball, to make sure that he didn't get to the ball. And so the special teams, any good coach will tell you, special teams are a vital part of being a successful program.
Has a lot to do with field position, has all to do with it. Bringing a team down inside their 20-yard line when they come out on offense, and field position is the name of the game. You look at Bakersfield High School, and with their offense, if they start most of their drives at midfield or at their own 45, they're going to score 95% of the time. If you bring them back and they have to start their drives inside their 20 or inside their 10, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
And I think Centennial plays in those same percentages. They really do. I think when they play half a field, they're more dangerous.
Sure. A little easier to pound you and run the football when you only have to go 45 or 50 yards. Hubbard, the ball carrier on the reverse, has a first down across the other side.
Stockdale's having problems with
37-yard line.
With that counter reverse. Either they run it inside or they run it outside, but they're going to have to do a better job of figuring that out.
Hubbard or Sherrill or Echeverry.
Yeah, well, we can call any one of them, but they're doing a great job up front, and that play's been very successful for Centennial in the first half.
It must be nice to have such great depth as a coach, though.
Well, it's you know, the other thing that it does too is that it allows you to keep guys healthy for important games. Yeah, it does, and so you get more effective performances, Mark, when you have the depth.
Mandelaris under heavy pressure throws it. Is it complete or trapped? They're calling it a completion about 6 yards.
That was complete? Well, that was a great catch.
Yeah. Jason Waugh with a great reception. He has 2 INTs tonight.
Jason Waugh doing it all.
Oh, man, I'll tell
doing
you.
it on both sides of the ball tonight.
Mandelaris is under heavy pressure. Had to get rid of that one.
And he has been all night. Stockdale's front 4 guys, or 5 or 6, depending on what look they're giving him, have done a great job of getting in his face.
Now we only have 4 on the defensive front. As he keeps it this time on the fake to Hubbard. The pass almost complete to Havens, and he drops it wide open at the 24-yard line. Russ Havens, tight end.
That is good football. That's a great call. They faked the counter that time, the same play they just ran. Dragged the tight end down the middle of the field. He's wide open, and he saw pay dirt, but he forgot to take the ball with him.
Remember, they tried to throw the post to him the last time they had the ball, and he had a double coverage on him.
And that's not like him at all. I mean, this is an all-area tight end from last year, and he never dropped the ball. But, you know, it's been a little bit different for him this year. He hasn't had the ball thrown to him.
He has about 16 receptions.
Right, it's been a different year, but that's because Moreno and Branson have done a better job, and Waugh, of being receivers for them. So they've had other guys. It's changed it up a little bit.
They've thrown to him, I think, at least 4 times tonight. Draw to Clark. He's great on this. Has a first down. Dives forward to about the 44 in Stockdale territory. He is such an exciting ball player.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, knows how to run, just gets out there and gets after it the best way he knows how, and that's all out.
We've seen a lot of kids that play that way this year. It's exciting to see different schools play from week to week and different players. 15 seconds to go in the first half.
Well,
and Stockdale has really done the job tonight.
If you've been with us throughout the season, you've seen some tremendous athletes and some great performances this year on Time Warner Cable. And we hope you're enjoying it. We hope that you've joined us each week on Tuesday night at 7:30, because we really have had some tremendous games, and we hope that you've been pleased with the broadcast. We've got a great crew that brings it to you every week. They work really hard, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of it. I can't wait for the playoffs.
Call us, tell us what you think at 322-1941, 322-1941 here at Time Warner Cable. And as we had mentioned a couple of times tonight, we would like to do high school playoff action this year, and we need sponsors. So call us. We know that you want to be a sponsor. You're just not sure how to go about it. Well, call us at 322-1941. We are going to do some volleyball. As we talked about, Centennial is the #1 ranked team in the area, in the state, in the nation. Stockdale is among the top 10 teams in the state. They will be competing in different divisions. Centennial in Division 1 this year, and Stockdale in Division 2 in volleyball. But both are aiming at state titles.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just tremendous programs and outstanding athletes, and looking forward to seeing the girls get after it next week.
They do. Pass complete to Jared Clark, and he'll lose about 4 or 5 yards. A swing pass from Mandelaris to Clark, and just didn't come up with much.
Mark, this Stockdale team dodging a bullet unless a big play happens right now, but dodging a bullet in this first half. And what a tremendous job defensively by Stockdale to keep this game close.
After 2 quarters from West High School at Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Teaching your teenager to drive doesn't have to be like swimming with sharks. Let the professionals at Precision Driving School help. Our instructors have the expertise to teach all aspects of defensive driving that help our students gain the confidence and skills needed to pass their driving test the first time. Precision Driving School, we make driving with your teenager as relaxing as a day on the beach. Classes are forming now, so call or visit us today on the corner of 19th and Oak.
Coffee in the morning, get you on your way. Or something cold any time of the day. Sounds real good, what do you say? It's easy, it's fast, we're on your way. Take a fast trip to the fast trip. Something to go and something to sip at the fast trip.
Take a fast trip today and pick up an ice-cold super guzzler or regular guzzler, only at Fast Trip.
Back to work with time to spare.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Here's what we say.
Get on the get bus. Get bus. Get on. Get on the get. Get on the get bus. Get bus. Get on. Get on the get. Get on the get bus. Get bus. Get on.
Second half of action, Centennial 7, Stockdale nothing. Clark, the ball carrier for Centennial, across the 30 to about the 33. And Stockdale did a great job defensively in the first half.
They most definitely did as we kind of rush up to the booth out of breath, but they really did. I think their defense kept them in the game, even though if you look at the stats, Centennial probably had the edge, no doubt about it. Although Carr put the ball up more, he wasn't as effective, but they did show some signs of doing some things late in the second quarter that I think will carry over to the third quarter. But the difference in the first half was Stockdale's defense. Their offense is going to have to get something going, or Centennial is going to take complete control of this game.
Jason Wall wide to the right for Centennial. Long count by Mandelaris, trying to bring Stockdale off sides. He was successful on that in the first half when Centennial was inside their 10-yard line.
You know, Mark, you only get so many opportunities in a big game, and you can't put too much pressure on your offense or your defense. You need to step it up. And I think this Stockdale defense has been here tonight to play. They're ready to go. The offense, inconsistent. Haven't been able to move the ball up and down the field like they really needed to. But they have to do that in the second half. Because if they don't, Mark, they're really going to be in jeopardy of allowing this game to get away from them too early.
2nd and 1 for Centennial on the 5-yard penalty against Stockdale. Mandelaris. Adam Sherrill, first down and more. Oh, wow, into Stockdale territory.
Rumbling right up the middle, the big
He was
fella.
definitely rumbling. He has an opening. He wants to take it to Pater.
Well, they've got 2 or 3 different guys they like to rotate in there, and they're all just as effective. And Sherrill's had 3 big runs tonight. I think he's had 3 carries for about 40 yards, Mark.
He just busting through holes and busting through people.
See, the dangerous thing with Centennial is that we talked about this before. They beat on you, and when you don't break them down by scoring on the other end, they just move the ball down the field. They get stronger, and that's their strength as they go along.
Pitch back to Clark. Sherrill blocking in front of him. Has 5, 10, and more down the sidelines. 30, stays on his feet, puts his head down, and out of bounds at about the 24.
Did I say he wasn't 100%? Well, he turned on the Jets that time. He turned the corner.
He's
Nice
very close
run.
to 100%, that's for sure.
He looked awfully good on that one.
Chaidez on the tackle for
I didn't
Stockdale.
think he was going to get outside on the
When
play.
he turns on the afterburners, he's got tremendous quickness.
Yeah, he really does.
Explosiveness.
He really does. I've seen him. This is the 3rd time we've seen him this year, and I'm very, very impressed.
Well, they hit him up the middle with Sherrill, who's a big bruising player. Then they go to the left side
I'm
to Clark.
impressed with how quick he really is. I didn't think he was that quick. Even seeing him earlier, he looks like he's even running.
Really
even,
turns the
he's
corner.
even quicker now.
Mandelaris with a long count. Sherrill, the ball carrier, pounds his way up the middle, but it doesn't count.
And that time, I think Centennial jumped off. But getting back to Clark, early in the season, I think everybody just thought he was one-dimensional. Because Stockdale was so big, they thought that he really wasn't that talented, but he just ran behind a huge line. But I think he's proved everybody wrong. This kid has some talent, understands how to run, and just like he showed you in that last run, he is very, very fast when he gets outside.
That was a legal procedure against Centennial. Mandelaris was trying to draw Stockdale outside. They actually almost came across the neutral zone, got back, and then Centennial moved.
What is the neutral zone? Can you explain that?
No.
I never understood
You better
what
have
that
a coach do that. It would take me too long to explain it. 10-14 to play in the 3rd. Mandelaris running the option, decides to keep it, and buried outside the 30-yard line by Ubroff, number 44.
Nothing there. And Ubroff's played an outstanding
Stringing it out.
game. He just picks it up where he left off here in the second half from the first, but nice job of stringing it out. He really couldn't make the pitch, so he had to eat it, and that's how you play the option. You play the option to make him turn it back up so you can pursue and make the tackle. You don't want them to string you out so you can pitch the ball to the tail because then they can turn the corner. But, you know, Stockdale's been impressive tonight, Mark. But we saw them do this earlier this year against a great Highland team. They just ran out of gas because their offense couldn't put any points on the board. But Stockdale's tough.
Mandelaris to throw. The pass complete on the far side. Short gain. Now they're calling it incomplete. Chris Branson. Now they're saying it's an incompletion. Looked like he trapped it. It'll be 3rd and long for Centennial.
Took a while to make that call.
Well, yeah, because the official was behind the the receiver.
Well, good officiating crews what they'll do is they'll check their
The official on this side can see the play much better.
And they check his partner.
And once again, like in the first half, Centennial's faced with a third and long situation. They don't like this.
No, they don't.
It forces them to throw or do a draw play.
Right.
But at 3rd and 15, you never know.
Traditionally, this is a run play. But in this kind of territory, you never know what Centennial's going to do. Like you said, they like to draw. There it is.
Draw to Clark. Gets away from man in the backfield. He's loose. Breaks another tackle. He'll be shy of the first down, but a nice pickup inside the 22, about the 17. He is so squirmy.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Get a good shot at him.
He made that play on his own. Again, good blocking up front, but a better run by Clark because he really should have been brought down after a 5-yard gain. Stockdale's got to wrap him up, but that's a tough thing to do. But again, the draw play in this situation is a call that they like to use quite a bit because Stockdale has been over-pursuing.
When you have a running back like Clark, it is an excellent call. It's tough to hit him square, straight on.
Well, he does a good job of making you miss, and then when it's time to put his head down, he puts his head down. So, you know, that's a tough guy to tackle.
He runs very hard. 4th and a long one for Centennial as Stockdale is shifting defensively. The flag is down in the defensive backfield. Delay of game against Centennial. They took too much time. It didn't make it 4th and 1 into about 4th and 6, and I believe the punting team is coming in for the Golden Hawks, so with that penalty, it blows a chance to go for the first down.
Stockdale dodges a big bullet right there because that Centennial was really back in their strength with that 4th and short mark, and they'll play 4 downs inside the 20, inside the 30 all night long.
Jonah Long trying a 40-yard field goal for Centennial. Law with the hold. The kick is far enough, way off to the right though. Missed it badly.
Pushed it.
On a 40-yard try, so we still have a 7-0 game.
And Stockdale dodges it on a bullet.
Have you recovered from dodging people running up the stands?
Yeah, definitely.
I had to leap over somebody.
Well, I'm not in that kind of shape anymore, so it takes me a little bit longer. You got to be an athlete, though, when you're doing these games, though, because you got to climb. Sometimes you never know where we're at. We're way up on top of this stadium. We got to get on these stairs. But, you know, that's why they hire us, because we're athletes. We can make the plays and make the calls, right? That's what it's all about.
I was trying to run with coffee towards the top of the cup, and it just didn't work.
See, that's why I got...
And it spills over the hands.
That's why I got a soda, Mark, see, because then when you spill it, it doesn't burn you. It's not so hot, see?
1st and 10 for Stockdale. Pitch back to McGarry. Excellent penetration by Hebert in the backfield. And a loss there.
That's just a
defense for Centennial.
Great individual play by Hebert that time. Got rid of his man and said, you're not going anywhere.
He said, see you later.
Yep, brought him down. Great play.
Loss of probably 6 yards for Stockdale. 2nd and 16 for the Mustangs. 8:08 to play in the 3rd quarter. Excellent contested game tonight.
Oh, it's been an outstanding game, with the exception of the fact that Stockdale's been inconsistent on offense. They've played outstanding.
Carr to throw. The pass complete out of the back for the Ferguson. Has the first down and more. Oh, dragged down from behind at the 45-yard line in Stockdale territory.
We were talking about it off the air that we really felt like they would try to use their backside of the backfield because the coverage was so good downfield when they were trying to throw long in the first half. Didn't have a lot of success. And what do? Longseer comes right back underneath. They hit Ferguson, big play. Carr was on the money with a few of his throws in the first half, but a few balls were dropped. He didn't really have time to throw. We thought, what adjustments are they going to make at halftime? They're coming right back underneath. I expect them to throw to the tight end a little bit across the middle and come back again with the short stuff.
At a penalty as the ball was snapped in the Stockdale backfield. Remember, Ferguson dropped a pass right into his hands in the first half and went to him this time. He picked up some good yardage and put his head down.
Well, Mark, I don't think Stockdale can afford to get out of this 3rd quarter without a score or without moving the ball down close to a score. They really do need to score, but they need to move the ball down the field on Centennial, keep their defense off the field. Their defense has been on the field a lot. They were on the field a lot in the first half, but they need to get the ball and drive the ball down the field and get in the end zone. I really do believe they don't score this quarter, Centennial is going to push the ball down and finally score, and it's going to be awfully difficult from there.
7:20 to play in the 3rd. McGarry straight up the middle, pounds his way for about a 5-yard gain. Did a lot of it on his own. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And there's something you don't see very often. 2 guys had their face masks locked together. They must be doing some real good hitting down there.
He must be.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen that, when 2 guys get their face masks locked together like that. That's kind of different.
I had my right hand accidentally dislodged into a guy's face mask in high school, and it hurt my hand.
Well, Mark,
trying to get him out of my way.
When I played football, I played quarterback, so I had guys' helmets lodged in my chest a few times, but I never had my face mask in another guy's face mask.
Carr to throw. The pass over the middle, incomplete. Nice coverage by number 30 for
Yeah, but that ball's
Centennial.
got to be caught, though.
Brian Vermeer, who's also playing linebacker.
That's got to be caught, though, because that ball's right on the money. It's a little hot because Carr's got a strong arm, but they got to catch that.
Yeah.
The ball's got to be caught.
Vermeer in the coverage, taking the place of Mike Turman tonight, as he did last week.
When you play Centennial or when you play Foothill or Bakersfield, you expect their DBs to do a good job in coverage. Carr's throwing the ball, and he's throwing the ball a lot tonight, right where he has to throw it because the coverage is so good. Got to make the catch. Got to make the catch.
3rd and 10 for Stockdale, 6:37 to play in the third. And Carr to throw once again. Protection pretty good. Long out pattern, incomplete to Jeffrey. Double coverage over there. Tough pass, it'd be 4th down for Stockdale, so
Mark,
they don't score in this drive.
You can't throw that ball any better. He threw that ball before the break, just like he's taught. Great set. He looks really good. I mean, I know he missed some balls in the first half, but in this second half, he's getting plenty of time. They're just getting drops. Jeffrey should have caught that ball.
4th down for the Mustangs, 4th and 10. Everett, one of the deep men for Centennial. They hold only a 7-0 lead here in a game that is for the Southwest Assembly League Championship.
But Stockdale's only going to get so many opportunities with the Centennial team. The longer this game goes, the more that Centennial likes the opportunity to drive the ball down the field, Mark, and use that big offensive line.
Quijada with a high punt, but didn't get much length on it. Down at the Centennial 31-yard line, Ubroff downing it. We've heard his name a few times tonight. We also heard that name in 1984 during the LA Olympics.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Which I was very
tonight.
fortunate to attend.
But Stockdale better get something going offensively because Centennials, all they're going to do is drive the ball down the field, pound you, and eventually, Mark, like you said, they're going to score. They're going to get the ball in the end zone. This third quarter is going to make the difference in this game.
Derek Brinkley in at left corner for Stockdale, replacing Pena for the Mustangs. Ball to right hash mark for Centennial, the Golden Hawks. In motion is Russ Havens. Mandelare's pitch back to Jared Clark, sweep left. Look at that speed, 5 yards at about 7. Nice tackle on the far side. It'll be 2nd and short for Centennial.
And that time Stockdale did a better job on the sweep. They've been getting hurt on that in the last 2 series with Centennial, and actually late in the second quarter, Clark started to get outside a little bit. That time a better job of pursuing, and they didn't exactly let him get completely outside. He got about 5 after he turned the corner, but then a good job of pursuing and making the tackle by
Andrew Ferguson with the tackle, and of course he had a nice reception from the backfield for Stockdale.
Going both ways like a lot of guys. I mean,
top athletes in high school generally do.
Yep.
2 receivers to this side for the Golden Hawks. Havens in motion. Mandelaris is showing blitz. Inside handoff, and nothing is there. So they had a 2nd and 4 situation. They'll have about 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
Well, I wonder when Centennial was going to smell that draw out, and finally they did. Trying to run the draw again, and Stockdale had nothing to do with that. They've had great success, but they've had success in a 3rd and long set. And that time I think Stockdale anticipated it a little bit more and did a good job of not getting sucked into allowing Clark to run by him like they have previous.
Excellent defensive game by Stockdale. 5:05 to play in the third. And 3rd and a long 4 for Centennial. Mandelaris calling signals. On the keeper. Cuts it back up, and he'll be shy of the 1st down by probably at least a yard. Did a good job to get that far.
I think they'll go for it, Mark. I think they'll go for it.
Remember, they went for it in the first half, and Stockdale.
They're going to kick it.
Remember, Stockdale stopped them in the first half, and Centennial went for it on 4th and 3.
Well, I guess that's smart. I second-guess myself right here, but because their defense is
you're a gambler.
Well, their defense is playing so well, though, that they feel very comfortable in the fact that Stockdale hasn't scored on them all night long. Kick the ball, keep them deep in their own territory, and let your defense play. If you get a turnover, then you know your offense goes right back on. And
Stockdale didn't look like they believed that Centennial was going to go for it. As the pass is complete on the far side, and they were right. Stays on his feet. Branson, he's to the 20, 10. It's a touchdown for Centennial. They hiked it to the short man, flipped it out left. Stockdale didn't believe they were going to punt it, and they didn't.
Fooled them bad on that one.
Fooled us.
Fooled them bad. Quick snap to boot. They quick snapped it. Stockdale wasn't even ready. Great reception. And I'll tell you what, Coach Stubbe, great call. Caught him sweeping, touchdown. That could be the big play that breaks the back of Stockdale if they don't get the ball in the end zone in this third quarter.
Well, Stockdale has some people on defense flying here and flying there. They had a chance to bring down Branson at the 35 or 40. He broke that tackle and showed that great speed.
That's tremendous speed.
Which he showed last week in a long touchdown run. Jordan Long attempting a PAT, and a flag is down. 13-0 Centennial, 4:12 to play in third.
Gutsy call by Stubby. Gutsy call. Because remember, I said they were going to go for it, so I was actually kind of feeling it. But then I thought, oh, no, I think he's going to kick it, and then he comes back with a fake punt. That's a great call, and obviously Stockdale not expecting that because that's not really, I don't think that's something Centennial's done all year long, I don't think. I can't remember them doing that this year. But they must have put it in for this game, and a great call, and it worked.
Long's kick is up. It is no good. Must have pushed it to the right. Definitely far enough. A 13-0 game in favor of Centennial. You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Channel 16, which brings you the high school football game of the week all year long and into the playoffs. And next week, high school volleyball in the Greater Bakersfield.
Spikes, digs, kills, serves.
I'll tell you what, there's some tremendous, not only does Bakersfield have great college sports teams, Cal State Bakersfield with their basketball, of course their volleyball program is outstanding, ranked in the top 10 in the nation this year. But a lot of the girls that come and play at Cal State Bakersfield in volleyball are from this area.
You look at Bakersfield College's team is very good. Taft College undefeated this year.
Undefeated this year,
Had
right.
a few players that performed at BC last year. And
right.
Besides Stockdale and Centennial, Bakersfield High is a very good volleyball team in Highland normally.
Centennial opened the season the #1 ranked team in the nation. And in Cal High Sports, which talks about all of California high school sports, said that they would win the national championship. And that's quite expectations, but they're living up to it this year because they're #1 in the state of California. I think they're in the top 5 in the nation. Not #1 anymore, but they're looking to get back there. And you can see that Centennial team next week on Time Warner Cable.
Kickoff underway by Long, who missed the PAT. Comes to McGarry at the 3-yard line to the 10, 15, 20. Makes a nice move to the outside. 30, 35, puts his head down. Excellent run to about the 37-yard line. James McGarry for Stockdale as the Mustangs have to light it up sometime here in the third quarter. It's too bad. They were basically burned by that fake punt by Centennial. Gutsy call by Stubby.
Yeah, it was. Fun play. Lots of fun.
Very
but
fun
McGarry,
play. Not fun for Stockdale, fun for
McGarry
Centennial.
giving his team good field position, and they've had decent field position in this game. They just got to get something going. Stockdale receivers need to start catching the ball because Carr's delivering the bread. You just got to hang on to it.
13-0. Carr to McGarry on the left side. Nice tackle by number 57 for Centennial.
And Mark, I think Carr's approaching.
Kelly.
I think Carr's going to throw 40 balls tonight. He'll throw the ball 40 times tonight. I mean, that's not unusual.
Air it out.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not unusual.
That's what number 23 does.
Yeah, that's true.
Airs it out.
He airs it in a different way, though.
That's right. Definitely a different way.
But Carr, not unusual for those fans who haven't seen him yet. And if you tuned in earlier in the Highland game when he was injured, we talked about it, and now you're seeing just how good he really is.
2nd and 8 for Stockdale. Single running back, McGarry behind Carr. The pass over the middle, incomplete. Looked like the receiver gave up on it just a minute, and maybe it was thrown in front of him. Well, that's the type of play where you're thinking about getting hit by the defenders around you.
Yeah, he threw that ball too early, and that was due to the pressure that got up on him, but he got happy feet in the pocket and let the ball go a little bit early, and the route didn't have time to develop, but that pass is open for them. That tight
That's what they used to say about Jim Everett, happy feet.
The tight end straight over the middle has been open all night long. They just haven't executed. The ball's been thrown there a couple times, it's been dropped, and that time he just missed it.
3rd and 8 for Stockdale. Carr rolling to his right. The pass it, long out pattern, complete to Jeffries. They're calling it an incompletion. Apparently he was out of bounds. Nice throw. It would have been a first down in Centennial territory.
That's a big-time throw right
Beautiful throw.
That is a big-time throw.
You know, like you and I were talking about at halftime when we were attempting to get something to drink, a lot of his passes are big-time throws, college level, professional level type of passes. And he definitely has the arm and definitely has the potential to play in college and be very good. David Carr, but the timing is not there between he and his receivers because he missed about 2.5 games.
Well, it's been difficult, and I think they're just getting back to that point. And even though last week, you know, they had a really good game and he threw the ball really, really well, this is a different Centennial team, different up front where they put pressure on you, different in their cover guys.
Punt by Quijada. It's a nice Stockdale roll inside the Centennial 30-yard line to the 24. Almost hit a Centennial player out there.
I know, that was dangerous.
You have to, when you're back there punt return, you have to watch the ball all the way because the football bounces in very funny ways.
But at the 3:04 mark right now, Stockdale's in serious trouble because Centennial is now going to take the ball, use the clock, grind it out, and Stockdale hasn't been able to do anything on offense. And like I mentioned earlier, I really feel like this third quarter is a crucial quarter for them. they've got to have their defense is playing just unbelievable tonight. But they need one more stop, and then that offense is going to have to get the ball into the end zone.
1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks. Wide to the right, we have Jared Bratcher. Ball on the left hash mark. Centennial with a 13-0 lead over Stockdale. 3 minutes plus in the third. Mandelare's throwing deep. Incomplete on the post pattern, as we talked about. Jared Bratcher, another guy with speed besides Branson.
Wide open. Just hurried to throw just a little bit. You could see that when he left his hand because Bratcher hadn't made his break yet. And normally on that post pattern, you want to throw the ball right as he makes his break, let him run underneath it. Just let him just a little bit too much.
And Centennial has been throwing uncharacteristically deep quite a bit tonight.
Well, over the last 3 weeks, they've had some big plays, Mandelares to Bratcher, and Bratcher has made big plays, over 50 yards in the air. So, you know, they're gearing themselves up. They know that they need to make big plays when it comes to the playoffs.
2nd and 10 for Centennial. Jared Clark stopped at the line of scrimmage. Great penetration by Stockdale, and once again, 3rd and long for Centennial. Well, I think the defenses gear up to stop the run of Centennial. Tend to get to a 7-8-man line, and he tries to go deep with his fleet receiver.
Well, when you get one-on-one coverage out there, if you're going to show 7-man front, or if you're going to bring your linebackers, you got to readjust. And if you get man-on-man coverage out there, Bratcher's got the speed to beat anybody in Stockdale secondary, and that's exactly what's happened tonight. The ball's just been overthrown a couple times.
3rd and 12 for Centennial. They've had 3rd and 10 plus on at least 4 occasions tonight. 2:18 to play in the third. And Mandelares sprint out right, looking this way, plenty of time to throw. His pass is complete to number 20. Great catch. Tremendous catch by Bratcher just in front of the Stockdale bench.
And
covered by Pena.
Actually, the coverage was tremendous, except Pena didn't turn and see the ball, and Bratcher just went up and got it. And a nice job by Mandelares. You know, I know they work on this because we saw them do this in the BHS game. They did it again in the Garces game, but they like to show that little pump. He'll give Bratcher a little pump on that out pattern, and he'll go. Sometimes he goes deep, sometimes he goes for about a short 5 after that, but that time they went a little bit shorter, and they always seem to click on that play.
And the wonderful thing about it is he does have time to throw. You have to have the time. Pitch out to Jared Clark. Sherrill in front of him. Dives forward for a gain of about 4 yards. Pena was over there. A number of other Stockdale players. That has been a very successful play for Centennial tonight.
You know, Mark, when we talk about Centennial, when we saw them earlier in the year, especially against Bakersfield, pretty much one-dimensional. You know, I think Jason Mandelares was still coming into his own as a quarterback, throwing the ball with confidence. And then we see them now and seeing the job he's doing now and how they develop their wide-out people with Bratcher. And we're not seeing Moreno tonight. Unfortunately, he's injured. And don't think we'll see him for the rest of the year. Broken leg, right?
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate for him because he's had a tremendous year. But you see the overall depth, and Coach Stubbe has done a wonderful job, he and his staff, of developing, and they've improved as the season's gone along. As it's been more important, as the bigger games come along, they've improved, gotten better and better and better. And I think they're still improving for the playoffs.
Adam Sherrill pounding his way for the first down. At the Stockdale 40-yard line, Adam doing a great job as usual.
Well, that's his forte.
Doing
right
the gutsy work up the middle, north
Putting his
runner.
head down, running over people. But getting back to the Centennial team, I think there are a lot of teams that peak early. They play well, they're explosive, and I think over the course of the season, even though they have weapons, they're not maturing and they're not developing towards the postseason. See, I think you got to play in football. You play 2 different parts of your season, right? You have the preseason and your initial 3 to 4 games. Then you have to gear up for postseason. Even if you're in the conference race or not, you got to gear up for that postseason.
Pitch out to Clark this way to the right. Nice piece of running. Stays on his feet. Spin move into about the 32-yard line as they go with the sweep this way on the pitch. Gain of 7 yards. Chaidez, Brinkley with a tackle for Stockdale. So Centennial runs it left, up the middle, pitches out right, showing so many different looks.
And they're just wearing them down now. I mean, they've got a 13-point lead. There's 30 seconds left in the third quarter. And now they're just moving the ball down the field. And this Stockdale defense has been on the field a long time.
They have to be very fatigued.
Yes, and that fourth quarter's coming up, and that's when Centennial really starts to hammer on you.
Andrew Stubbe wide to the right for Centennial. Ball on the right hash mark for Mandelares and company. He gives it to Adam Sherrill. Pounds his way up the middle. Inside the 30 to about the 27. Another first down pickup for Adam Sherrill and Centennial.
Well, Adams looked
He's
really
great
good
on those short guard situations.
Now, great blocking up front. Let's talk about those guys and how well they've done tonight. They've really, really done a nice job blocking up front. Haven't put the points up that they've been putting up over the last 3 to 4 weeks, but That's because Stockdale has played so well tonight. They've been so gallant, played with big hearts, have really gotten after it. And this game's not over yet. We still got a fourth quarter to play, but Stockdale has got to do something on offense.
13-0 Centennial over Stockdale after 3. You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Coffee in the morning, get you on your way. Or something cold any time of the day. Sounds real good, what do you say? It's easy, it's fast, we're on your way. Take a fast trip to the fast strip. Something to go and something to sip at the fast strip.
Take a fast trip today and pick up an ice-cold Super Guzzler or regular Guzzler, only at Fast Trip.
If Windows 95, Pentium 133, the Internet, and gigabytes have you all confused, then you should buy your computer at Arc Technology, your local computer connection with personal service for just the right equipment at the lowest prices and service after the sale. Check this fall special.
I'm Alex Rogers, owner of Arc Technology. Come and see for yourself why we have the warehouse stores beat hands down on price and service.
Don't you buy a computer until you check with Arc Technology, 3 blocks north of Costco at the Clock Tower.
Excuse me, is that tuxedo from AJ's?
Let AJ's get you noticed. A Bakersfield tradition for over 25 years, specializing in Pierre Cardin, Christian Dior, Oscar de la Renta, and Calvin Klein. AJ's Tuxedo Junction, with 3 great locations to serve you.
Centennial with the ball on first down as we begin the fourth quarter. Clark slices his way for a gain of 7 or 8 yards. Seeley's and company in front of him as they try to pound the ball at the middle. 13-0 Centennial over Stockdale. And a great ball game at West High tonight for the Southwest December League Championship. Centennial playing their type of game now.
Yeah, they are. They've really got the cards in their favor at this point, starting the fourth quarter with a 13-0 lead mark. And field position, obviously, they're inside their 30-yard line, moving the ball down the field. And this is where they just like to start using that big tank and moving it down the field, eating the clock up, and just handing the ball off to Clark.
Clark with the ball once again on second down.
See, that's where
a couple of yards.
That's where, if you're Stockdale, you've got to take them out of their strengths. In the fourth quarter, you got to make them do things they're not comfortable doing. You can't allow them to play in their strengths. But let's take our hat off to that Centennial defense. And we've been talking about Stockdale being inconsistent. A lot of that is due to how well Centennial's played tonight. Without 2 of their best players, they've stepped it up.
Well, Centennial has been great against the run all year and a little bit more porous against the pass. They've done a great job both ways this evening. Of course, teams generally have to pass against them because they can't run. Straight up the middle, and looks to be a first down for Centennial as the Golden Hawks begin this fourth quarter in great fashion. In Stockdale territory, 10:45 to play. They continue to pound the ball. That big offensive line wears down the Stockdale defensive line, who's been on the field so much tonight.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, there were many possessions in the first half where Stockdale's offense was 3 and out, and that definitely doesn't help their defense. Although they've played so well tonight, take nothing away from them. They've kept Stockdale in the game.
Mandelaris barking signals, pitch back. Jared Clark on the outside, cuts inside, goes over a wall of Stockdale defenders on the first down play, gain of 4 or 5 yards. Flowers with the tackle for Stockdale. Centennial keeping it on the ground, using up the clock.
That's all they want to do. That's all they want to do, Mark, is just continue to keep it on the ground, use the clock, pound it out, keep the ball deep in Stockdale territory. Even if they don't score in this situation, even though Long pushed the first field goal attempt that he had in the first half, he's got the leg. I mean, he's just a little bit off tonight, but he can kick the ball. But Centennial, they're in complete control right now, Mark. 2nd and 5 for the Golden Hawks. This time, Jared Clark has a little opening close to the first down marker as he dances his way to about the 5-yard line. And those holes becoming a little bit bigger inside the red zone. Really did a nice job of sidestepping a defender inside and sliding to his right to pick up 3 extra yards, a la David Bennett at Bakersfield High School, who's so good at slipping tackles, making people miss. And everybody knows that what's at stake tonight, conference championship. For Centennial, we talked about it, putting themselves in a situation where they can move right behind Bakersfield High School for the seeding And of course, that's important when you talk about home field advantage, where you're going to be putting in bracketing, on what side, who you're going to have to play. And of course, up north, we know that Clovis definitely is the top team up there. Not Clovis West. Don't be surprised with that, folks. Clovis is taking over as the #1 team up there.
And they're playing tonight.
Yeah, and Sanger's had a heck of a year, but Clovis West is still in the hunt. Edison's had a good run this year. McLean has some talent. And of course, Redwood, who knocked off this Centennial team, hasn't had a great year, but still another team up there that you have to reckon with. So right now, everybody kind of moving around, jockeying for positions. And Centennial, if they win this game tonight, like they look good right now.
Echeverry pounds his way inside the 5 for Centennial on the first and goal situation. Centennial probably about at the 1-yard line with 9:07 to play in the game and trying to add to that 13-0 lead. Golden West from Visalia is undefeated.
Another team that's had a
into
great
the game
year.
tonight.
Exactly. And so this is an important game for Centennial.
Very important.
Not just to outright win the championship, which is very important, but because you put yourself in a great situation for seeding.
They definitely have great uniforms. Bandolera's calling signals. The ball is given to Clark. Dives. Touchdown Centennial. Leaps over the Stockdale defense.
He'll get it anyway. Running around, running through, or diving over the top. Oh, was that Stubbe?
Andrew Stubbe, number 43, okay.
We were conditioned for Clark
That's
right away.
right, number 42.
Missed it. Sorry about that, Stubbe.
Maybe has better leaping ability.
Correction now is
Andrew Stubbe, number 43.
Fooled us all.
Yes, that's true.
Andrew Stubbe up and over the top.
Well, he hasn't carried the ball that much tonight from the tailback.
He hasn't.
Been used primarily as a receiver.
Mark, we talked about it in the third quarter. We knew it was going to be very difficult for Stockdale if they didn't put the ball in the end zone just to change the momentum of the game because, you know, Centennial's that team that you can think they're in a lull, and then in the fourth quarter, if they've got the lead, they just pound on you. They're playing in their comfort zone the whole time because they know they can just move the ball up and down the field and use the clock, and that's exactly what they've done and scored early in this fourth quarter and made it very tough for Stockdale.
19-0 now with 8:39 to play in a ball game. And on this last drive, Centennial basically pounded the ball. Their offensive line opened up some good holes. They used up the clock and getting close to definitely a desperation time for Stockdale now.
Well, they're going to have big plays and get the ball in the end zone in a hurry and hope for a turnover. And so far tonight, Centennial's been very solid, very, very solid. And that's another thing about this Centennial team that I like going into the playoffs. They're very solid defensively. They take care of the ball, and they do an excellent job late in the game taking care of the ball, which is another. They don't turn the ball over very much. And their offense is geared for success, which means they don't take a lot of risks. And you might say, well, how do you score then? You got to have big plays.
How about that fake punt?
Well, yeah, I mean, they took a risk tonight, but I think it was calculated. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. I think they fooled Stockdale.
They have confidence in their defense.
Right, and I think what I mean by that is that they play the percentages, and they're very good at doing that. And they have the people that can do it, and they just beat you up the whole game.
Centennial going for 2 points. Everett in motion. Mandela's thrown to his right, heavy rush, throws it into the end zone. It is good for 2 points. 2 points for the Golden Hawks.
I don't know if that was Bratcher or not. We can't tell by on the reception. It looked like
Nick Echeverry.
It was Echeverry. 32 Echeverry. So Centennial gets in. It's 21-0 now, Mark, and it's going to be very difficult for Stockdale from here on out because they haven't gotten the ball in the end zone yet, and Centennial's defense now can really just kind of, you know, we've said this all year long, pin their ears back and come, and Carr's had pressure on him throughout the first half and had some time to throw in the third quarter, but receivers dropped some big play balls that they should have caught when they started to drive the ball down the field, and that hurt them, and it caused them to not do anything with the football. Centennial comes back, scores, then they have the big play on the fake punt, and now we're in a situation now where, like you said, Mark, it's getting desperation time. It's going to be awfully tough for Stockdale.
Well, the fact is Centennial is very efficient at running the ball, and they actually show more diversity than Stockdale does offensively.
When you get to money time, Mark, you've got to play in your strengths. You know you've got to get the game to a certain part of, you've got to get your game to a certain part of the game late in the fourth quarter. Let's say for Centennial, for instance, that this game was close. If it was 13-12, late in the game's close, you know you can run the ball, you're efficient running the ball, and you're good at short yardage, and you're good in the red zone, Centennial plays in their favor. They can feel good about that. If it's 21-10 or 21-7, even though they have the capabilities for big plays, that's not really their style. So they play out of their strengths. Centennial has done a good job this year playing within their strengths. And they've done an outstanding job defensively setting that up.
Carl Bowser and Jeff Chudy from Bakersfield College are here in attendance at tonight's game, with Centennial leading at 21-0. McGarry pounds his way forward for a gain of about 7 yards for Stockdale. The Mustangs
yeah, be tough at this point. Very tough.
have to go through the air now, that they've been doing as a priority throughout this ball game. Some missed passes, a lot of pressure on David Carr, and kind of tougher than the mood of football against Centennial. They beat West last week 21-0, but as I would mention, it's a little different playing the Centennial defense as it is the West High defense. McGarry, running hard, has a first down for Stockdale. Across the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
And that's concession. Centennial's going to give that up. They're going to give that up the middle stuff. They're going to give McGarry 5 or 6 or 7. They're going to hopefully not give him a bigger play than that if they tackle well. But you know, they know that Stockdale's going to have to throw the ball, so they're loosening up just a little bit. So Stockdale's going to be able to get that, but they need a lot more than that at this point.
And the Golden Hawks have tackled well tonight. Carr to throw, out and up pattern, almost intercepted. Almost his third INT tonight by number 22, Jason Wall.
Well, I'm impressed
Actually
with
went
Wall.
right through his hands, but great coverage.
I'm impressed with Wall because Moreno has played as well as anybody at the corner, and he's played safety, and he's been all over the field. And again, he's hurt and will not play the rest of the season. And Wall has stepped in like he's been playing there all year long and just really did a great job in coverage tonight with 2 picks. And Mark, you're right, he should have had a third there.
The hat trick.
Could have had it.
I mean, that's something very difficult to have, is 3 INTs in a game. 2 is outstanding.
Tough to get a Gretzky. Tough.
Carr to throw, they're yelling pass. It is complete to his tight end. They'll be shy of the first down. Great tackle by Mataihi. Tim, the safety of Centennial, who started there last year for Jan Stubbe.
Good throw underneath. Safe throw to the tight end. Picks up.
Now it's 3rd and short
thought
for
they
Stockdale.
picked up the first down, but they're a little bit short.
7-17 to play in the ball game. 21-0 Centennial over Stockdale. Golden Hawks smelling that SWIL championship and a great seed for the playoffs. Inside handoff.
He didn't get it, Mark. I don't think he got the first down.
McGarry at the line. We'll see where they spot it. They're calling it first down.
They gave him the mark because I tell you what, it didn't look like he got it in the first effort, but got a nice spot on that play.
Got to have that great spot. And lean forward.
Most definitely.
Once you fall down, inch forward another half foot or so.
You know, the great backs do that, have ability to fall forward. I don't know what it is, but they just can do it.
That's why they're the great backs. Carr to throw, looking over the middle of the pass. Complete to Pena at the 37-yard line in Centennial territory. Nice throw, nice catch, great hit.
So we got a flag down, so this might be coming back. I don't know. Mark, that pass has been there all night long. They just missed it, or it's been dropped.
But hopefully for Stockdale, it's not a penalty against them, but most likely. An eligible man downfield. That's too bad. That was a nice throw and catch.
And again, folks, we need to point out, too, that David Carr missing so much of the season. It's very difficult with timing. When you come back, the receivers aren't used to it. This is a new group of receivers he's working with this year. He lost Paris last year, his main receiver, and they had such a tremendous year in hooking up. And it's not an easy thing when you come back. And that's why I take my hat off to this Stockdale coaching staff for the job they've done. It's difficult because throwing the ball is a very difficult thing. The timing has to be there.
And the timing has not been there tonight. 1st and long for Stockdale. 6:31 to play in the ball game. They trail by 3 touchdowns against Centennial. Carr in a heavy rush, throws it incomplete to McGarry. Just in front of us. Nice hit by Centennial.
Taylor
and
again.
Number 82, Sean Taylor, yes.
Taylor coming over from his free safety position, played that ball beautifully. Actually, Carr threw the ball where he had to throw the ball, but he had to hang it up there too long because McGarry wasn't open, and he tried to thread the needle, and Taylor really doing a nice job.
Personal foul against the Golden Hawks, roughing the passer.
So Stockdale gets it right back.
Well, they were coming at Carr very heavily that time. They probably hit him after he released the ball. At 21-0 Centennial. Stockdale needs a couple of breaks. They definitely need 6 points, which is tough to get against the Centennial defense. Tough team to score on. BHS and Centennial were 0-0 after 3, and BHS scored 3 times in the 4th quarter, all on passing plays, thanks to the abilities of Rodney Wright. Draw to McGarry. Gets past the line of scrimmage, and then he is rocked by a couple of Golden Hawks.
He was, too. That was some hitting going on down there on that play.
Yeah, that was a tough couple.
Centennial doing what they've done all year, though, Mark. Attacking you and hitting you. They punish you. They're big, they're physical, and they're better athletically than you think. You know, you would think just because they're big that they're not athletic and they can't pursue and get to the ball. Forget that. They get to the ball and they hit you.
Well-coached team. Carter throwing, they're coming at him. The pass up in the air, picked off. Number 24 for Centennial, out of bounds. Chris Branson, ball's up in the air, and he was at the right place at the right time.
And again, that's, I don't know if that's kind of unjust justice for Carr, because really he's played his heart out tonight. But when you put the ball up as many times as he does in a game, you're going to have some INTs. That happens because he throws the ball quite a bit. But tonight, the difference in this game going into the fourth quarter was the inability, I think, in that third quarter, in certain possessions for Stockdale, they had drops. The balls were dropped. Carr was on the money. They were moving the ball, and they just were inconsistent, didn't execute. It hurt them. They couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And in this fourth quarter, it's been all Centennial. They just basically dominated the whole fourth quarter.
Well, very much like Bakersfield High School, they were very strong in the second half.
Right.
As their team begins to wear down their opponents.
Well, Mark, again,
and as you mentioned, they don't make mistakes. They play generally a conservative game, despite the fact the big play of the game, the fake punt and the touchdown. 5:37 to play in a ball game. Centennial 21, Stockdale nothing. You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Teaching your teenager to drive doesn't have to be like swimming with sharks. Let the professionals at Precision Driving School help. Our instructors have the expertise to teach all aspects of defensive driving that help our students gain the confidence and skills needed to pass their driving test the first time. Precision Driving School, we make driving with your teenager as relaxing as a day on the beach. Classes are forming now, so call or visit us today on the corner of 19th and Oak.
If you've had an accident and are suffering from any of these symptoms, listen to your body and call us today. I'm Dr. Rudy Herrera of Mind and Body Chiropractic. Call us at 837-1505 in Bakersfield or in Delano at 721-1506.
Get on the get. Geo, go. Get ready, set. For a whole month of rides that last, all you gotta do is get a flash pass.
The Get Bus is so easy to do.
I catch up on my reading too. Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Here's what we say.
Get on the Get Bus, Get Bus, get on. Get on the Get on the Get Bus, Get Bus, get on. Get on the Get Bus, Get Bus, get on.
Excuse me, is that tuxedo from AJ's?
Let AJ's get you noticed. A Bakersfield tradition for over 25 years. Specializing in Pierre Cardin, Christian Dior, Oscar de la Renta, and Calvin Klein. AJ's Tuxedo Junction with 3 great locations to serve you.
Centennial with the ball. 1st and 10 in their own territory. Across the 40 to 42-yard line. They lead at 21-0 over Stockdale. Jared Clark hit and dropped in the backfield for a loss of about 3 yards. Check that Andrew Stubbe, who's taking the place of Clark. He scored the last touchdown for Centennial on the great dive over the Stockdale D. Remember that?
Reminiscent of those old...
Sam the Bam Cunningham for USC.
The USC
Remember
days,
that?
yep. You knew it was coming and you couldn't stop it.
He could really leap. Marcus Allen is good at that play, too.
Marcus Allen's one of the greatest backs of all time.
Still going on. Isn't that amazing?
He is,
the durability he's had.
He's incredible. Well, thanks to Raiders for that. I think they kind of prolonged his career by not playing him.
And not paying him?
Unbelievable.
4:55 to play in a game. Mandelares to his fullback, Echeverry. Hayden dropped at the line of scrimmage, so Stockdale still showing a lot of character and heart.
Congratulations to Centennial tonight as they take the conference championship outright. And
Their first league championship.
What a great year they've had, and they really are on the upswing. And I talked about this earlier, Mark, but I think this is a team that continues to get better every week. And I think that's important when you get to the playoffs because you want to be peaking at the right time.
Wouldn't you like to see them meet BHS somewhere along the line?
I think this Centennial team is peaking at the right time. I'll tell you who wants Centennial, and that's Highland. Highland would love to get another shot at Centennial.
Andrew Stubbe, Dyson his way. Picks up some good yardage.
And there's a fumble.
But fumbles.
And I think Stockdale got it. They did.
The turnover
And
against Centennial.
That's fitting justice for this Stockdale defense tonight, Mark, because they really have played well. Stockdale came ready to play tonight. Their defense has been outstanding, and take their hats off to them. And what a job Coach Hans has done with his staff this year, with his Stockdale team, starting so slowly like they did, having Carr injured and holding everything together with Band-Aids, and just to get to this game it's a treat, I know, for the fans and the players at Stockdale, but what a job they've done, Mark, this year just to get here.
I was trying to see if Andrew was trying to hide from his dad, head coach Jan Stubbe, after that fumble. Carr to throw it. His pass complete at the 30-yard line and thrown down. Number 4 for the Stockdale Mustangs, Brandon McNaughton. That's a very familiar name here at Stockdale. As Bobby Sharp is going down for some post-game interviews. 4 minutes to play in the game, 4:03. McNaughton, whose brother plays safety for BC, his other brother playing for a team in Southern California, a college team. Clock running at 3:55, 21-0 Centennial. Stockdale would like a score in this ball game. At the 27-yard line, Carr to throw over the middle, complete to his tight end. Inside the 20 to about the 18. We'll see where they mark it.
Carr's pass complete to Jared Pope.
Pope with the reception for Stockdale. 2nd and short, 2nd and 2 for the Mustangs. As the clock continues to run at 3:22. Centennial shuffling players in and out. The Golden Hawks want a victory. They also want a shutout defensively. Bring some other people in there. McGarry hit in the backfield, breaks away, stays on his feet, drives forward inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. First and 10 for the Mustangs. Richard Hodges making the tackle for Centennial. 3:03 to play, 21-0 in favor of the Golden Hawks, as they want to keep Stockdale out of the end zone. The Mustangs in the red zone, the 14-yard line. Ball in the middle of the field. Carr remains in there for Stockdale. McGarry behind him. Here's the snap. Looking to his right. Into the end zone. His pass. Incomplete. Both Stubbe, the defender, and a receiver down. No harm, no foul. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Stockdale. Jeffrey, the intended receiver, at 2:38 to play. So Andrew playing some defensive back and running back for Centennial tonight, as they will capture the Southwest Yosemite League Championship. First year in the league, and they win the league title. Last year, they played Garces for the South Score League Championship and lost at home at Golden Hawk Stadium. For Stockdale, their 3rd try to league championship and 0 for 3, but they will keep on coming. Carr rolling to his right, looking to the end zone. Now rushed heavily by Hebert, and he goes down. Big sack at the 25-yard line.
Carr sacked by number 44.
As the pressure broke down on him. Cody Hebert played a splendid game for Centennial defensively. Punting, punt returner. Like a lot of players, does so many things out there on the football field. Clock running at 2:10 to play. It's 3rd and long for Stockdale. Call it 3rd and close to 20 yards. Outside the 20 to 24. Sprinting left is Carr. Throws it. Intercepted over the middle. Looks to be Hebert.
Intercepted by number 44, Cody Hebert.
The man who sacked it the last time comes up with an INT, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Centennial. That's probably the last chance for Stockdale tonight, as Carr is victimized once again. So Branson had an INT last time Centennial had a ball. This time Hebert comes up with it. Very fitting, as he has a sack and an interception. 1:56 to play in the ball game. Centennial will probably sit on the ball with a 21-0 lead over Stockdale. Stockdale will fall to 3-7. And what will be their last game of the regular season, 3-7 and 2-2 in the SWYL. Centennial improves to 4-0 in league, and overall this year 8-2. They get ready for the playoffs, which start next week, and they will be one of the top 6 seeds in the Yosemite Division. And that will probably bring them a home date next week at Golden Hawk Stadium on the Centennial High campus. Maybe we'll see Centennial and Bakersfield High School somewhere down the line, or maybe Centennial and Highland High School. As the Golden Hawks lost to BHS 21-0 and defeated Highland at home 17-12 early in the season. But we think Centennial has improved dramatically this year. As Jason Mandelares has developed as a quarterback, they've been able to bring in other players into the game. Joe Lozano is the quarterback for Centennial here in the latter stages of the ball game. The clock is running down to 1:05 last in the ball carrier. Teams bring in players right and left. A great rivalry between Stockdale and Centennial. It's not just in volleyball and in basketball and baseball and track and field or soccer. It's also in football. A lot of these players know each other from youth. They have played on the same club teams growing up, the same team and on opposite teams. They developed a very healthy rivalry. One school from the southwest, the other from the northwest. Andrew Stewart, the ball carrier, has some good yards across the 30-yard line. Keeps the ball this time as he's driven out of bounds. And the clock continues to run as Corey Brown makes the tackle for Stockdale. 19 seconds and counting. First down for Centennial, and we have a timeout. Or we thought we had a timeout, but the clock continues to run. Centennial will probably not snap it again tonight. The Southwest December League Championship for Centennial as they beat Stockdale 21-0. The Golden Hawks go into the playoffs with a record of 8-4-0 in SWIL. Stockdale finishes at 3-7 and 2-2 in the conference. Touchdowns tonight for Centennial. Jared Clark, the 2-yard touchdown run. And also a touchdown by Andrew Stubbe in a fine game. Final score, Centennial 21 and Stockdale nothing. Stay tuned for prep football highlights brought to us by KGET TV Channel 17 and interviews with Bobby Sharp on the field. I'm Mark Heffernan. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Coffee in the morning gets you on your way for something cold any time of the day. Sounds real good. What do you say? It's easy, it's fast. We're on your way. Take a fast trip to the fast strip. Something to go and something to sip at the fast strip.
Take a fast trip today and pick up an ice-cold Super Guzzler or regular Guzzler, only at Fast Trip.
Teaching your teenager to drive doesn't have to be like swimming with sharks. Let the professionals at Precision Driving School help. Our instructors have the expertise to teach all aspects of defensive driving that help our students gain the confidence and skills needed to pass their driving test the first time. Precision Driving School, we make driving with your teenager as relaxing as a day on the beach. Classes are forming now, so call or visit us today on the corner of 19th and Oak.
If Windows 95, Pentium 133, the internet and gigabytes have you all confused, then you should buy your computer at Arc Technology, your local computer connection with personal service for just the right equipment at the lowest prices and service after the sale. Check this fall special. The hot new 6-speed CD-ROM drive, just $98. Call Arc for low prices on all RAM upgrades, including laptops and notebooks. And Arc will upgrade all Packard Bells. Don't you buy a computer until you check with Arc Technology, 3 blocks north of Costco at the Clock Tower.
If you've had an accident and are suffering from any of these symptoms, listen to your body and call us today. I'm Dr. Rudy Herrera of Mind and Body Chiropractic. Call us at 837-1505 in Bakersfield or in Delano at 721-1506.
We are here with Coach Jan Stubbe. And Coach, first of all, congratulations. Conference championship. I know that's important. You must feel great.
Well, it does, you know, and I credit our kids and our coaches, you know, our players. That's, you know, our kids and coaches have played so hard and coached so hard. Kevin Sneed, Randy Roberts, Bill Romley, Bill Richardson, Archie Manning, and you know, it's been, we're 8-2, and we got a championship, and that was our first goal.
Next up, the Valley Playoffs. I know what this does for you guys seeding-wise. This was an important game because you've beaten Highland, you've beaten Foothill, so it really puts you in a good situation, doesn't it?
It does. We're going to be 3rd, 4th, or 5th seed, depending on what happens up north. We're guaranteed to go back to the Hawks' Nest and play our first playoff. And we need to win a playoff game this year.
We are back with David Carr, and I know, David, this is disappointing. way to finish the season out, conference play. I know you guys were really hoping to get a conference championship, but Dave, I really wanted to get you on the air. We've been talking about you all year long. We finally get a chance to see you play. I know it's been frustrating for you this year because of the injury, but I know you guys came out and played hard, gave it your best effort. It's disappointing, but really, you guys have really done some great things this year.
Well, we came around at the end, and we thought we were on a roll. We were playing good the last couple of games, and then Centennial's just got a good team. We just couldn't get our offense started tonight.
It looked like defensively that they were kind of giving you fits. They were getting somebody in your face all night long. It is difficult to be out and then come back in, get the rhythm going with your receivers, and it's tough, isn't it? It makes it very difficult for you.
Yeah, well, we worked this summer, and that helped out a little bit coming back. We just had to get back in sync, and it just took a while.
And I know when you graduate somebody like Paris, who you were used to hooking up with last year, it seemed like every time you threw the ball and the balance, it makes it difficult, but you've had a really good senior year. I know you're looking forward to next year, and I know everybody's going to be kind of reading the papers to make sure they see where you go and what happens with you, and we want to let you know that we've enjoyed watching you play. You've had a great career, and we want to wish you all the best in the future.
Thanks a lot.
From West High School, I'm Bobby Sharp for the Time Warner High School Football Game of the Week.
Just when you thought you saw it all. It's Friday Football Extra with me, Steve Talbot, and Tom Helmer. Join us every Friday during the Team 17 News at 11. We cover high school football like a rug. The hits. The Friday